Ingle Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen everywhere on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat for
Power Rankings Tuesday.
It's Power Rankings Tuesday on a short week. Tomorrow is going to be a football Wednesday.
And then we're gone for 4 glorious days.
It's going to be a nice little vacation for
where
the
no one
Thanksgiving
can
holiday.
chap my keister because I'm at home eating leftover turkey sandwiches.
There's been a lot of the chapping of the keister going on around this place, and
it needs
we'll
a salve.
Yeah,
It did for sure.
It most definitely
we need
needs
some butt paste.
We need a medicated salve to reduce
topical
the
ointment even.
Look, if you ever wonder what it's like to work at a radio station, it's no different than your office. It's the same crap. We just get to, have our water cooler conversations on the microphone.
Yes.
It's all pretty much the same. Welcome in to the program on a Power Rankings Tuesday. Last night, Monday Night Football, Baltimore Ravens, Los Angeles Chargers. Did he give you the fireworks that you wanted?
It did pretty much exactly what I thought it would do.
Yeah.
Which is the Ravens are really good, and I would not want to have to play them. It would be nice if they were at home, but I don't think less of the Chargers.
I don't really either. This was a game you went into. You were the underdog in pretty much everybody's minds.
Yes.
Nobody really expected Los Angeles to come out and just completely put it on the Baltimore Ravens last night. So, I mean, the fact that it was a 2-score game was a little more lopsided than I wanted it to be. I know that the final score ended up just 1 score, but they scored. I mean, the Chargers scored with, 20 seconds to go? So it was a 2-score game.
46
seconds to go. So, I mean, it was a 2-score game. It was a little more lopsided than I expected. But, I don't – this is what the Baltimore Ravens have to do. To me, this is more of a statement by the Baltimore Ravens of you got to be in the mindset, I think, if you're John Harbaugh and company, of we're not screwing around this year. Right? Every year it seems like we get to a certain point in the season and we are just running roughshod. We're, lose a couple of games here and there, but for the most part, we look like one of the dominant teams in the NFL. And then by the time we get to the playoffs, everybody says the same thing. We're limping in. We're hurt. I think the most important thing Baltimore can do right now is win games like this. You go in, you take control, you show that we're not backing off this year.
Well, they're really good against the run. I did kind of feel like when J.K. Dobbins got hurt, I feel like John Harbaugh wanted to yell across the sideline at his brother, "First time?"
I told you.
I think I've seen that before. I believe I have read this book, and I didn't love it at all.
How do you stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, though?
Pray.
Precisely.
Pray. Because Derrick Henry is a gigantic human that is super fast.
It's funny that we talk about this as a passing league all the time. Obviously, the game has changed, and if you don't have a great quarterback, then you don't have – I mean, I look at teams like the Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles. I go, you know what? The running thing can work.
Well,
can it win championships? That's another question.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I did not see the year of the running back coming. I don't know if you did. But
no, nobody did. I think it's hilarious that, and by hilarious, I mean just, odd, that it comes right after we had the big fight last offseason. Right, we had the fight about Saquon Barkley. How much money should he get? $1.5 billion. When we had the fight with, or Indianapolis was having the fight, or the uncomfortable discussion with Jonathan Taylor on how much you should pay him. Right. We had all of these stories about how the running back is not as valued anymore and they're, dime a dozen, blah, blah, blah. And I think all of that still rings true to some point. But we didn't expect to see Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley basically bring the running back position back to prominence in the NFL. And it's not like they went anywhere. I mean, Derrick Henry has been doing this for years, carrying a Tennessee Titans team to the playoffs.
Well, I mean, look, we're doing power rankings today. And do you find it ironic that the top handful of teams, and I mean, I'm going through these in no particular order, have Joe Mixon, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs? I mean, it's really not ironic.
Mm-mm.
If you're looking around the league, I don't know that I've ever seen a correction like this where you got running backs off mediocre teams, added them to good teams, and those teams went, oh, maybe we should do that because that looks like a lot of fun, and there's not a whole lot of ways it can go wrong.
Yep. If you can't run the ball, can you win?
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs are looking. They're on line one going,
well, wait.
They've done a pretty good job of it.
And they're getting their star running back this week. Isaiah Pacheco. He's a dog.
Star running back.
Are you sure? He's not right outside of that top echelon of running backs in the NFL?
If he's just outside of it, that means he's not a star.
Well, I mean, he is the star for that running.
There are certain words that I will let you. There are certain words I will let you use liberally. Star is not one.
Star is not one of them. Okay, all right. So maybe he's not an NFL star. He is just their starter. He's really good.
He's good. He runs very aggressively, and there's certainly a difference between what you get out of Kareem Hunt and what you get out of Isaiah Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's funny you mentioned this because we came in hot. If you're watching us on YouTube, it is the 26th, not the 25th, because I just noticed that. In the YouTube chat, Kevin the PRF, franchise running backs look a whole lot better with franchise quarterbacks in tow.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the point that I was trying to make. And I put this on our social media earlier of I didn't have Year of the Running Back on my bingo card. But the more I thought about it, is it not ironic to you that Josh Jacobs now looks like a franchise running back with Jordan Love? He didn't look like one with Jimmy Garoppolo. He looked like, hey, he's fun to play in fantasy football, but I don't think he changes anything.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when they signed him, I went,
why'd you do that?
Are you sure?
Right. You already have that guy. His name's A.J. Dillon. Why did you do that?
Well.
And then that took care of itself when A.J. got hurt.
Yeah, A.J. Dillon. Pit of misery.
Now, he'll go somewhere next year. He'll have a big shot, won't he?
He will be the third running back for the Dallas Cowboys.
You think so?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
I don't.
No gas left in that tank?
The lust. That's
the luster.
The luster, very important there. Went off
Jeremy
that rose.
loves running backs.
Kind of like Tank loves DK Metcalf.
Only in blue, though. Makes his hair.
Thanks. I swear to God, tomorrow at 3:01 cannot get here fast enough. I'm blocking Tank's number from 3:01 tomorrow afternoon until 5 minutes before the show on Monday. No, you are not allowed to say weird things to me. It is the holiday season, and I have much to be thankful for.
Yeah. No, okay, all right. So we're shoveling A.J. Dillon over to the scrap pile. All right, good to know. But yeah, I get what you're saying, right? There's a balance that comes into play here. But I didn't expect that. I really didn't. And I don't know that many people could have expected. And I guess the most surprise for me is Saquon. And I don't know why
That's the least surprising.
And I don't know why I'm surprised.
Like, I have him in every single fantasy league I'm in.
I knew that Derrick Henry was going to be just fine going over to Baltimore. That was written, not going to be a problem. I knew it was going to be better for Saquon coming in running behind that offensive line in Philadelphia. I didn't know it was going to be this good, though. I mean, I didn't think he was going to be rolling off 255-yard games.
He was my second running back in fantasy football this year. I mean, that's why I have him in so many places.
Yeah.
Do you find it ironic, and I'm asking this kind of rhetorically, the three leading rushers in the NFL, who do you think they are?
Saquon.
He's one.
Derrick Henry.
He's two. Now there's a drop off a cliff because the next those two are both over 1,300 yards.
Uh-huh.
How many other running backs have rushed for 1,000 yards so far this year?
None.
0.
Yeah.
It's 0. There's only one over 900.
Is it James Cook?
James Cook is not. He's 23.
Really? I thought
James Cook is just a step above Tyrone Tracy and Bucky Irving.
Okay.
3 is Josh Jacobs. 4 is Jahmyr Gibbs. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, Jared Goff. Now you get to 5, and okay, that one, Chuba Hubbard, that one doesn't necessarily play into my narrative. Kyron Williams is 6 with Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Pollard is at 7. He has a lot of carries. A lot.
Well, yeah, because he has no quarterback.
Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Bijan Robinson. A running back is greatly helpful to an offense, especially when you can take that extra safety out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have 3 super chats, and I'm going to read them in reverse order because one of them greatly steers into exactly what we're talking about right here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Red Sea, Ashton Gianti's draft stock just keeps rising. Yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm.
If you had told me coming into this year, look, I graded the running back class. We talked about it in summer scouting, and I didn't really see a guy that I went, that's a first-round pick. Saw a handful of guys that I thought would be day 2 guys. Ashton Gianti would not have been a first-round pick a year ago. He is now.
Mm-hmm.
Because teams are looking around going, that could be a lot of fun. It could be nice to put that guy back behind my quarterback and just let him go. Now, I will tell you, I'm still not as crazy about him because I do think it really helps that you play in the Mountain West. Do I think Ashton Gianti would have been on that Barry Sanders base if he played in the Big Ten? No, sir, I don't. Have a weird feeling we're about to see him in a playoff game, and you're going to see him against, I don't know, Tennessee or Georgia or one of those teams. And all of the sudden, he's going to look a lot more human than he did before.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's definitely not going to look like Superman. The question is, can he be the 100-yard touchdown guy?
That might be the most important bowl game for a player's stock in the history of college football.
Right, you come out and get stuffed.
Oh, you come out and go 21 carries for 57 yards, there's going to be a lot of dudes like me going,
excuse me.
That's what I saw. That was what I was afraid of.
Do you think he's capable of that, though? I mean, that is more what his reality is rather than being the 170-yard-a-week guy in the Mountain West.
Have you ever seen – look, I don't get angry very often, although it's happened 2 times in the last 17 hours. Have you ever seen me get really mad and actually get to the, I throw something point?
I think I've seen you close.
But you never actually see it.
I don't know, though.
There's a pivot point there that goes from, this is kind of funny, to, excrement. I'm going to go now because I don't this is not good because there's a lot of him and he seems to be real angry.
Yeah, no, I usually turn the knob off on the let's poke Jeremy meter when he goes silent. When Jeremy goes silent and he doesn't speak anymore, then you know the next word that comes out of your mouth may be your last.
I'm glad you picked up on that. I didn't have to tell you. Angry Jeremy is what a team in the playoff is going to do to Boise State.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that. You're not just going to get beat. You're going to get embarrassed. I'm talking 52-6 because I just don't think you have the talent to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good point. It is a good point. Reds had another good point. He had 260-plus yards on Oregon. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was real early in the season. That was before you had 12 weeks of film to go, hey, that's the only guy we really have to worry about. That was really his coming out party.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think teams are going to look at him and look at what Derrick Henry's doing and look at Saquon Barkley and go, that could be a nice piece. I still don't think he's going to go in the top 20.
Right.
This took a class for that to me. But could I see one of these meddling current contenders look at Ashton Gianti as that's the piece that can solidify our offense?
Dallas
Absolutely.
Cowboys.
No, I said contender.
Oh, excuse me, contender.
Not running joke with a 1-star Yelp review on its helmet. That's not what I was talking about. We have another super chat.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
This also probably deserves your breaking news button.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Mac Brown has been fired by the North Carolina Tar Heels.
I didn't realize we were doing that. I
yeah.
didn't realize that was. I mean, that deserves like a good dance, like an angry dance.
No. Oh
Like
my
we're getting
God.
nasty with it.
Oh, stop that.
Got to put some fire in that thing. Because thank God this happened. Did I warp your mind there?
Well, I'm really glad that my local Ingles had Clorox on sale. My prices love the savings because I'm gonna go bathe in it now.
No, this deserves the big breaking the news dance.
Don't that weird like jutted out that. Don't do that ever. Okay, that should. I don't need to see that ever again.
You just got to tuck that lip in and bite it. Arr. Mac Brown being fired by the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. First, as a respectful Tar Heel fan, thank you, Mac. Secondly, get the hell out of the way. I have been waiting for this moment for the last 3 years. Enough is enough. You can only go down this path so many times and just, oh, shucks. It is so maddening. It used to be cute. But every time you have a season where you start out 7-1 and then end up losing 5 games in a row and blowing the bowl game because nobody wants to play in it because everybody's headed to the NFL, go somewhere.
Oh, you had a good run of Duke's Mayo Bowls, which, by the way, you lost in most of those too. I mean,
it gets to a point where are we being serious about this football thing or not?
Well, that's what I said.
Right.
Brian Hall came down here earlier and told us this, and he was like, I can't believe they didn't wait to do this. I can't believe they didn't do this 3 weeks ago. That's where I'm at. You just got embarrassed by Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Mac Brown, since he's been here, he came in 2019. He's gone 7-6, 8-4, 6-7, 9-5, 8-5, 6-5.
Yeah.
You're in a crux of college football where if you're not serious about this, you're about to get left out of the way. This is a lead follower, get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to make a statement of we are dedicated to being good in football. And what you put on the field against Boston College was not good in football. So, I mean, you're looking at recruits. You're coming up on the early signing period. You got guys flipping commitments, and that's what you put on the field. You had to make a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to make a statement in who you hire.
No doubt.
Do you have a?
I mean, I don't know where you turn at this point. Where does North Carolina sit as a job? As a Division I football job, where does North Carolina sit? I mean, it's cool. You know, Carolina obviously has all of the things that you expect from Carolina. You know, you got a top basketball program. You got all the best facilities, getting ready to have all the best facilities when we get that new basketball stadium built, right? You've got so much money, so much marketing, the Jordan brand, the history around North Carolina. But it never translates over to football. It never has. That's why we had to wind the clock back and bring back Mac Brown, who was the only good coach we had ever had. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to denigrate the 40s guys or whatever. I get that there were programs back then, but who cares? In the modern era of football, in the world that we live in right now, North Carolina football is not a brand. To me. And it never has been. You want it to be. They treat it like it is. It's got all the Jordan money. It's got all the cool swag, But we've never been able to put a product out on the field that you can look at and go, that is a power. We can do that on the basketball court. I got national championships that show it. I don't have a ACC championship to show for football. We've never been competitive in it. And this is the world where football rules everything.
Oh, no doubt. Do you have a preference? Like if you were Bubba Cunningham and I made you, I don't know, better at your job, who would be the one that you're pursuing? Because I've got a name. It's my first call, and you're going to have to tell me no.
All right.
Barry Odom. Head coach at UNLV. That's the hardest place to win in America.
Okay.
You don't even have your own stadium. You're in Las Vegas where there's a lot of stuff to do, and you've got that team borderline competitive for the playoff. I understand you got sent to the pit of misery after Missouri because that didn't go well, but that's the one I'm after. And if he were to tell me no, I would probably go in some order of Jamie Chadwell, although I don't really want to play that weird system that he plays. Just because I don't think those highest end
You don't think
coordinators-
nobody else is listening? Could there be a what is the market below Carolina? Like, could they poach a coach from the Big 12? Kenny Dillingham. Could he come?
Kenny's always been out west.
Okay.
He has no recruiting ties here whatsoever.
Okay.
That's the allure
Well, I
of
knew he
Barry
was at
Odom.
Florida
He was
State
at
for a
Arkansas.
while.
He was at Missouri.
I knew he was at Florida State for a
year.
while, but that was it.
Yep.
Just a year. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking like a Kalani Satake kind of a coach.
He's always been out west.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what the pipeline is. I don't know what the answer is, and I'm really not sure where we sit. Could you convince a coach to come over from BYU to come coach at Carolina?
I would say probably no. The Carolina job right now has one huge impediment this year notwithstanding, and that's how many teams are between you and winning an ACC championship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you got to be looking around at Carolina right now going, well, Florida State and Clemson have always been there.
Yes.
Florida State's god-awful this year notwithstanding. Are you going to be shocked if they're 10-2 next year? Because I don't think you should be. Clemson's there. Louisville's got more money than you can shake a stick at. Miami seems to be back-ish. And now you got SMU that's got Dallas oil money. That doesn't make this job overly attractive.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm so the appeal of Barry Odom is so drastic for me, because that's a guy that desperately wants to get another crack at being in the biggest areas of college football. And I mean, based on what he's done at UNLV, that would be my number one call.
Okay.
I think you can put a really good product on the field. You are still a reasonably young guy. Barry Odom's only 10 years older than me. I didn't realize that because he looks 80.
He looks like he's in his 60s.
He has that Tank Spencer problem of his hair done RUNNOFT.
True.
There's more hair on my soap than there is on his head.
Really? He was born in 76?
Yeah.
Wow. Man, I'm old.
You know what's funny? You look older than Barry Odom. It's not really all that close. I told somebody how old you were the other day, and they went, really? They did it to me, and it was they over-exaggerated the really a little bit.
Well, they thought I was older than 42?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I think they fully thought that your age was going to start with a 6.
Damn, I don't look that old.
Tank's 62 years old.
I don't have that many wrinkles.
Yeah, but it's at heart.
Yeah.
I mean, your favorite
100%.
Your favorite musical acts were all born in years that started in 18.
No doubt, because they ain't made nothing good other than Luke Combs and and Chris Stapleton in about 40 years.
Not a Shabuzi guy. Not getting down with Sabrina Carpenter or anything like that.
No.
I've been having to brush up, because I got morning duties coming up for the next few weeks, and to brush up on the old modern music.
Good luck with that.
It'll be fun.
They don't play any of the new music you listen to, though.
Oh, no.
Like, they're not playing Kendrick Lamar in there.
Oh, no, they do.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think you could play that on the radio.
Well, you have to play the edited version.
Where you hear like 6 words.
The FCC still doesn't. They haven't gotten down with my idea of just Who's going to be upset
Hey,
about
you
it?
never know. Brave new world. We got a new FCC commissioner coming in. You never know.
Yeah,
You know.
got a new SEC commissioner, and they're letting Jeremy do CHR. Let's go. I'm sure those two things are completely independent of each other.
Donald's got your back. Is that what you're saying? Jeez. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We've gone way too long on the first
For
segment.
sure,
Here.
like 17
Look,
minutes too long.
I got excited about Mac Brown. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's the best possible thing for North Carolina. Wherever they choose to go from here, I hope that they make the right hire. We will be here to break it down whenever that does happen. Again, as a sentimental guy, I love Mac. I will always love Mac for bringing us back twice.
I'm really sad that I just figured out that I can impersonate Mac Brown because he sounds exactly like somebody that I've known in the past that I impersonate pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
In my honest opinion, Carolina football could be great again.
That's pretty close. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We got another super chat coming up. Plus, we'll continue talking about last night's Monday night football game next.
It's the 24th annual Asheville Turkey Trot 5K and Gobble Wobble. Thanksgiving morning, November 28th in downtown Asheville. The Turkey Trot starts at 9:15. The Gobble Wobble 1 mile fun run starts at 8:30. What a great way to kick off your holiday. Get out and move before you hit the buffet. Proceeds from this year's race benefit the Manna Food Bank once again. Help give back to the community and register today. Just log on to AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia, Asheville.
This season, let's spread love that goes beyond Christmas. Your gift of the Salvation Army of Asheville helps provide food, shelter, and hope to those in need, not just for today, but all year long. Donate to the Salvation Army today and be the reason someone believes in a brighter tomorrow.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
Pizza just goes better with Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Pizza.
Thank you. But don't take our word for it. In fact, don't take any words for it. Crispy and cheesy, paired with delicious and refreshing. My mouth is watering already. Ooh, too high. Yeah, we've all been there. Every bite is better with Pepsi.
This week in the Buncombe County Game of the Week, it is week 3 of the high school football playoffs, and top seed Irwin hosts the number 8 seed West Charlotte. The Warriors got past a tough Smoky Mountain Mustang squad last Friday. This week, it gets even tougher. Sean Crow, the coach Danny Wilkins, and myself, Brian Hall, will be on hand to bring you all the action, and Tank Spencer will keep us updated on playoff scores throughout the night. The Bojangles Countdown to Kickoff show starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7. The best high school football coverage is on News Radio 570, WWNC, and ESPN Asheville.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at ParksFordHendersonville.com. That's ParksFordHendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
Yeah, we went that long.
We did.
In the first segment.
We did.
We got to the bottom of the hour drop, and we've only done one commercial break.
We went a little longer than expected there. So, getting just a bit outside. Jeremy, what do you have for us for your outside story?
Jerry Jones is out of his mind.
Well, we all knew this.
No, he's more out of his mind than we thought.
What do you mean?
So he did his Tuesday show, 105.4 The Fan, which he owns in Dallas, and he had an idea. They asked about a contract extension for Mike McCarthy. He responded with, "I don't think that's crazy at all. He has great ideas, and we got a lot of football left." Jerry, I don't know if you knew this or not. Just not saying words is acceptable. What do you think about giving Mike McCarthy an extension? I think I would rather give myself a Tabasco sauce enema. That's what. Because if my answer would have made headlines. It was more accurate than yours.
How? Why do you continue to play this game?
I have no idea. I mean, surely to God, you don't feel that good coming off that win against Washington.
But this is Jerry, right? Mm-hmm. Remember all of the times that we said Jason Garrett needs to be fired. That was 6 damn years, right? I think he had 2 good years to start out, and then for 6 years he was 8-8. And this was Jerry's MO the whole time. We'll be fine.
Jason Garrett was a little better than you remember.
Was he?
He was 8-8 3 years in a row to start. Then he had the 12-4 year.
Okay.
Then he cratered to 4-12. Then he went to 13-3. Then he went 9-7. Then he went 10-6. Then he went 8-8.
Okay, excuse me. I guess I'm a little rocky on mine.
Jason Garrett was a lot like that, Tiffany that we've all dated at some point. Of she'd cut her hair and it'd be super cute, and then she would lock you in your car and threaten to kill you, and then she'd get a new job and start buying dinners, and then she would throw all of your things out in the yard and set them on fire. Mike McCarthy's just been static average.
Mm-hmm.
He is the ham sandwich of the NFL. That's not bad per se.
But it is bad. It is bad when you're the Dallas Cowboys. It's supposed to be.
Oh.
I mean, you tell us it is. And that's the thing that always maddens me about Jerry, is that he says it's all about the winning, but when you make a mistake, you don't ever correct the mistake. You just think, "Oh, I'll be right eventually." Right? You hung around with Jason Garrett forever. Okay, so you got, 3 pop years in there? And you were dog water the other 3 years in that 6-year stretch I was talking about.
You're taking this a little different. You're going on a little different trajectory here than I thought you were going to go on.
Okay.
Do you know what him saying that says to me?
What?
He actually, honest to God, thinks this team could still make the playoffs. That's where his brain's at. That is where his brain is at, because they are not technically eliminated.
Yeah.
The back half of the schedule is, let's be real honest, it's not super daunting. Mm-hmm. They play the Giants this week, then they go to the Bengals after a long week after Thanksgiving. Short week at the Carolina Panthers, Buccaneers at the Eagles, which would be, that's the one you look at and go, ooh. Commanders again. In his brain, he is going, we can win out, go 10-7 and still make the playoffs, and Dak will be back. Because he is that crazy. Jerry Jones has become the guy in your office with the bad toupee that gets really angry when you tell him you're wearing a toupee. No, I'm not. I can see the tape. You either have tape in your hair or you have tape on your head. I don't know which one, but please fix it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, real hair. Mine, all me. All this guy.
It's just a shame. It's a shame that it's gotten to this point. I thought we were reaching the crux. It is.
Is it a shame, or is it just really, really funny? Because to me, it's really, really funny.
Well, I get it. There is that little bit of Schadenfreude in all of us that go, haha, Dallas Cowboys are
I don't know what that word means. I'm just really, I'm L43, Richard Petty. you remember when I was a kid and you were enjoying all those, hey, the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, and then you ain't won one since. Awesome.
It's like, I don't know what that word means. We're just moving on.
I don't know what
Schadenfreude. It's
Christopher Lloyd or whatever you just said. I don't know what that means.
It's taking joy in other people's misery, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like we look back and we go, ha ha, terrible Dallas Cowboys, right? When we thought there was no future, 6 months ago with the New England Patriots, we were all, ha ha, you suck now. Now those feelings are starting to come back up. You see Drake May out there doing things, and you're going, they might be back.
So does that mean that that Dallas is them shouting boys? See what I'm doing there?
I like that. I like that.
We take joy out of your pain
Absolutely.
because it's funny. Do, 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 do.
Well, I mean, we all have that in us because we've been told this is America's team. It's been shoved down our throats for 40 years. And yeah, there's a little joy to be taken in that. But from the standpoint of, being friends with Dallas Cowboys fans, those are the people that I feel sorry for.
Oh, yeah. Look, we've got some great Dallas Cowboy fans that listen to the show. And I love them all dearly. But then there's that other level of the ones that,
we know.
Let me say this real slow so they can understand. You get on our damn nerves.
See, I think of the Dallas Cowboy fans like Mike Morgan, right? Mike Morgan's been a Cowboy fan since he was 6 years
Sir
old.
Jimothy,
and he's lived through
Dave McPhee,
Roger Staubach, and he saw the great years, and he lived through the 93 dynasty like in his adulthood. He's not just like you and me. We remember that from our childhood. Like, I remember Emmitt Smith because I had a whole boatload of his football cards. Like, I wasn't there to really, truly enjoy it as a fan of the game at 8 years old.
I remember him because he was the worst commentator in the history of commentating football.
But then I think about people like Mike. And
But
just
see, all
on
those
Sundays,
people, all of those people are rational. They know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Cowboy Zach Hurst, he's the same way.
Yeah, but
he texts me all the time and goes, I don't even really watch the games anymore because I know what is going to happen.
and I feel bad for fans like that. Like, I imagine Mike Morgan most days sitting in his man room with all his Staubach, Aikman memorabilia all over the place, just crying into a corner, banging his head on the wall, going, I remember when we were good. Because we're never going to be that again.
But it's been so long that I don't think they hurt you anymore. Now, I do have a question. Does that mean you feel sorry for me, or are you a Shoyden jackal?
No, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, I feel bad for Jets fans that can't get it. You had the best opportunity to reach a Super Bowl that you'd ever had 6 months ago. Oh, you had it 18 months ago as well. And it's just ripped out from under you. So, yes, I mean, there is a part of me that feels bad for you. There's also that part of me that goes, switch teams.
I came into this season with potentially a national title contending college football team, a Super Bowl champion contending NFL team, and the best win that I have in 2.5 months is one over the Houston Texans and Cal. That's the best I got.
Most impressive you've looked is against Charleston Southern.
And they even found a way to screw me on that because I bet 33.5 they scored late.
Oh, no.
Just boop, boop, boop. That's been the whole year.
Point. Dear.
It's been the whole year.
I mean, I feel bad for fans of teams that can't get out of their own way. And Jerry Jones is just forever proof that as long as he's still living, I don't think there's a chance for you.
So
he'll never go away.
So you mean he's our Joe Namath? As long as Joe Namath walks on the right side of the soil, he sold his soul to the devil, the Jets will never be good.
Pretty much. I think that's how that goes. All right, we got one more super chat we need to hit, and then we need to take another break.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
All right, Soaring Eagle says he sent you something on Twitter last night, Jeremy, about Matt Eberflus.
Matt Eberflus is a complete moron. So they asked him about, he challenged that 70-yard Jordan Addison catch, and his response was, it always warrants a challenge when you have that big of a game. Even if we don't have the best look, that's what we would have done. That was never in doubt. When I say that catch was good, It was as clear of an inbounds, two hands, all the things catch as you've ever seen. And Matt Eberflus went, challenge it.
Mm-hmm.
For what? I don't know. He did something. I don't know what you did, but you did something. And then he defended it.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one that's just you're bad at this. I mean, the
guy didn't even get close to the sidelines, or
no. The high water mark for Matt Eberflus this year is he grew a beard. That's the best thing you've done all year,
no doubt.
When you send out your Christmas newsletter of things your family did, your number one. I mean, other than being fired, which you're 100% going to be. Well, you may not know it at that time, but you should probably communicate if you know anybody that's looking for a farmhand or whatever you think I could do. Hit me up. His high water mark was, I grew a beard.
And he got on TV a lot.
And I was on television
He was on HBO.
And people thought I was cool for a minute. And then they did.
And then my football team started playing, and they went, oh, wait.
And then they gave me a quarterback who paints his nails, and we went into the pit of misery.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We've got to squeeze in another break here. When we come back, we'll wrap up the thoughts on Monday Night Football last night, finally.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine, breezy to windy and cooler out here this afternoon. High temperatures only in the middle part of the 50s, all the way down to near freezing tonight. Clouds mix in with the sunshine tomorrow, still a bit breezy. Afternoon highs on Wednesday, upper part of the 50s. Cloudy with scattered showers Thursday for Thanksgiving Day. Afternoon highs, middle to upper 50s. Colder Friday, mix of clouds and sunshine. High temperatures, low to mid 40s. I'm Ken Boone with the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Britt and Tilson Glass.
Hi, this is Matt Burns.
And Bill Britt of Britt and Tilson Glass and Shower Door Company. We want our neighbors to know that we are still here and ready to serve you.
At our new location, 44 Buck Shoals Road in Arden. Text us at 828-469-0600 and online at BrittonTilson.com.
In today's Marketers Report, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio production.
In this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy, and that's what I really like about it.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Did you apply for FEMA help after the recent disaster and want to know the status of your application or how to appeal an eligibility decision?
It's easy to reach FEMA. Call 800-621-3362.
Does FEMA have your current contact information?
If you're not sure, call 800-621-3362 because FEMA may need more information to help you. Remember, call 800-621-3362 or go online to disasterassistance.gov.
Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Do these stories sound familiar?
I would wake up sometimes crying to my mom that I didn't want to go to school.
Math, for me, it was, I don't know, it just felt like way too hard for me.
These could be signs of a learning or thinking difference like ADHD or dyslexia. Some kids are wired differently, but all kids can thrive with the right support. The American Academy of Pediatrics and Understood.org are here to help. Visit understood.org/iHeart for conversation starters to use with your child's pediatrician.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
We are back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Baltimore Ravens 30-23 win over the Los Angeles Chargers last night on Monday Night Football. At the top of the program, we had discussed our preliminary thoughts about this game, basically that, well, Baltimore needed to come out and flex, and I felt like they did that. The Chargers had to come out and not get embarrassed, and I feel like they did that. Last night was not a surprise in any stretch to anybody. And the only thing you can do at this point is say that both teams had a pretty neutral night. Baltimore was supposed to win this game, and they did.
I understand, and you said this earlier, that this was really a two-score game. They scored late, whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't a two-score game, though. You played within a possession of the Baltimore Ravens in a night where you really did not get much from your passing game.
Mm-hmm.
You really did not get much from your running game. But you stayed in it. This is a tough team. I think they have a talent deficiency. Because I will be honest with you, I look around and go, I can't name another contender that is leaning this much on Ladd McConkey or Will Dissly or Jalen Reagor.
Well, but we knew that was going to be the problem with this
sure.
team. Now, Ladd, he's pretty good, you got to admit. Ladd McConkey, he's got a future.
What is he that's more than what I told you he was coming into this year? He's a really good slot.
Mm-hmm.
And when he leads your team in receiving, I don't really even need to see the top of the page to know you lost.
Right.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Tell me where the fallacy in that.
No, there's not one.
You need
another
Josh
piece.
Palmer or Quentin Johnston to step up and be that guy. And when they don't do it, and you have a night like last night where they combined for 3 catches for 38 yards,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not shocked that you couldn't go in and beat the Ravens. Now, you have a lot of money in this offseason. It is alluring to play in L.A. You have a good young quarterback, and I could easily see a path that guys around the NFL go, it looks like it would be fun to play for Harbaugh. He's a kooky dude, but that does look fun. You disagree with that?
I don't. You have all of the appeal to bring in somebody, and I don't think there's a veteran that'll look at you and say they don't want to come play with Justin
You're
Herbert.
going to be very influential in the market this offseason. I just think I look at the Chargers much like I look at the Denver Broncos. You don't have the Jimmies and the Joes to compete with these other teams because they're just better than you.
Mm-hmm.
But the 10 best players that played last night, how many of them play for the Chargers? If you tell me a number that's above 3, I'm going to laugh at you.
The Los Angeles Chargers should go all in on T. Higgins, don't you think?
I can't tell you no. I'm not real high on paying receivers that have only been 2s in other places. I'd rather just draft one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really good class of a lot of dudes.
So you're looking at like a Luther Burden or somebody in the first round?
They're not going to have a shot at Luther Burden. They're not going to have a shot at Tito Roy McMillan. You're looking into the Emeka Ibukas and guys like that. But that's okay. You've got a billion of them. And I still think you have something in Josh Palmer. I still think you have something in Quentin Johnston. They've got to develop. They're not there yet. Quentin Johnston was raw coming out of TCU. I mean, if you remember, before that national championship year, none of you knew who he was. And it wasn't really just you. There were a lot of us that were, I can't say we didn't know who he was, but we didn't think he was an NFL prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Then you took him in the first round, and, shocker, it's taken a little bit of time. But he's shown that he can have games like that. But you need another piece. You need to not be counting on J.K. Dobbins, who, yeah, I get it. He's been good at times, but weird. He's now hurt for the 3rd time this year. That's not surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And last night he left you with Gus Edwards and Hassan Haskins. I'm not upset with J.K. being part of this rotation. I always had an objection to he can't be the head of this snake.
Mm-hmm.
Because you run into games like last night. He got hurt, and the offense just went.
Well, what happened to Kamani? Is he hurt?
Vidal?
Yeah.
He was inactive last night. I think he was a healthy scratch. They haven't figured out.
There was a little hype there.
Well, I mean, his first NFL touch was a touchdown.
It was.
Rare.
It was.
Happen a lot.
It was. J.K. still got a lot of good football in him.
He's fine NFL running.
And he's been playing really well this year. Can't stay healthy, which has always been his problem, which is why they did what they did. The problem is I don't think Gus has got anything left.
Oh, no, Gus.
Because your plan was, okay, well, we'll bring in both these guys who Greg's worked with before. They were with Greg in Baltimore. We'll bring them in, and there in Baltimore, it was fine. Well, I mean, it wasn't fine. You were patchworking every week when one of them was injured, but you carried on pretty well. That didn't happen.
Gus Edwards last night had 9 carries for 11 yards.
Yeah.
He is 2 yards tall. If he got to the line of scrimmage and fell down with the ball in front of his face, he would have averaged 2 yards a carry.
Right.
He could not do that.
Mm-mm. So,
and by the time that I don't, how much of this game did you watch? I always have to ask this.
I watched a lot of the first half.
Because this game was heads up in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
The second half, you were so one-dimensional that it was really easy for Baltimore to just drop back and go beat us. Well, you don't really have anybody that were afraid of beating us one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't really take advantage of the walking penalty that is Brandon Stevens. Can we just give him, like, yellow cleats? Just so we know, hey, that's the one. It's all flaggies. That's flaggies. Throw it, because I know it's coming. He got one last night. Every time I see him on a screen, I just immediately go, where's flag? It's because it's coming.
Yep. I didn't feel like last night was I mean, obviously, it's not a great night when you lose, but I didn't feel like it was an embarrassing night for Los Angeles.
I walked away from this the same way I told you I was going to last night.
You had everything out there for everybody to see, and we saw what you are, which is you're about the 6th, 7th seed in the playoffs.
You're a tough team that will be the 6th seed in the playoffs. You'll probably play, I will say probably, it could be Baltimore again, the winner of the AFC North.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get into a slugfight game. I think there is a possibility they could beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't really like their chances of ever beating the Ravens. Matchup-wise, it just doesn't line up because you're going to struggle with Derrick Henry anytime you play him. But you get into a slugfest with Najee Harris, you could win that. Now you're going to go into the next round, and that's probably not going to go your way. But that's okay. I mean, if you're the Chargers, you're taking this step by step. And you've got to me, NFL teams, when new coaches take over, it's a lot like flipping houses. Do I have good bones? If the house has good bones, all of this cosmetic crap is pretty easy to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, drywall, I can hang drywall. It's not fun. I can go find a receiver. I can go find a running back. There are plenty of those guys. Do I have the stalwart pieces? Do I have pass rushers? Do I have offensive tackles? Do I have a quarterback? This team does. Now, to me, the Chargers coming off the Brandon Staley era were a fixer-upper. And they got one of the best DIY guys on the planet to come in here and fix it. And they've taken the bones to a nice, it's a cute house.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting $1 million for it, but it's a cute house. You're going to pay off on your investment. Now we see what you do now that the drywall's up. You're going to start planting flowers and trees and landscaping because that's what the Chargers need.
Yep.
They need that extra receiver. And T. Higgins, I kind of dude on that when you first said it, but I mean, I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem
That's
with
what
it.
I'd do.
He's been hurt a lot. This year would be giving me a lot of angina with T. Higgins. But, I mean, I can't tell you that it's a terrible idea. I don't know that you need that guy. Obviously, that helps if you have a top 25 in the NFL number 1 wide receiver. I think Quentin Johnston can develop into that in time. I think Josh Palmer still has, for whatever reason, he has a weird relationship with Justin Herbert. The good's really good, the bad's really bad, and I don't have a great answer as to why that is. But you add that to McConkey, you're close.
Yeah.
This team's going to be good for several years.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. I mean, dude, I do want to tip the cap, though. The Navy Blues. I always like it when they wear the Navy Blues with the white helmets.
They're okay.
I mean, I prefer the powder blues, but it's slick looking every once in a while.
That's kind of like you've got a beautiful car. You don't need a motorcycle. Okay, like just take the beautiful car. It's fine. It's safer. It's good. Let's just drive that.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back for the top of the hour break, it'll be time for the Week 13 Power Rankings here in the Sportsocracy. We know it's the time of year to give thanks and spend time with friends and family, but there is something else to be thankful for. Touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Touchdowns are on sale all weekend. Here's a reason for new customers to do a touchdown dance of their own. Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
At Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation, our focus is on you. With 18 locations across North Carolina specializing in short-term rehabilitation and long-term care, our team is ready to support your loved one, providing the compassionate care they need for whatever lies ahead. From physical and occupational therapy to individualized long-term support, discover the ways Sandstone provides compassionate care for all at sanstonehealth.com.
More than 4,500 wildfires burn across North Carolina every year. 99% of these wildfires are the result of human activities like backyard burning and campfires. That means most of our state's wildfires are avoidable. We need your help. 1. Never burn on a dry, windy day or leave your fire unattended. 2. Keep a water source, shovel, rake, and phone nearby. 3. Have a valid burn permit. You are our best defense. Learn more. Visit ncforestservice.gov. ncforestservice.gov.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine, breezy to windy and cooler out here this afternoon. High temperatures only in the middle part of the 50s, all the way down to near freezing tonight. Clouds mix in with the sunshine tomorrow, still a bit breezy. Afternoon highs on Wednesday, upper part of the 50s. Cloudy with scattered showers Thursday for Thanksgiving Day. Afternoon highs, middle to upper 50s. Colder Friday, mix of clouds and sunshine. High temperatures, low to mid 40s. I'm Ken Boone with the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Ready Whip. Topping off a dessert or swirling it onto hot cocoa, Ready Whip is here to whip up some holiday cheer. Ready Whip is made with real cream, so pick up a can or two. Ready Whip.
Harbor Freight knows tool people like to keep busy. But with our Black Friday sale coming up Thanksgiving weekend, you'll want to free up some time. We're talking deals like our 5,000-watt generators under $800, 17-foot ladders for $99.99, and 40% off Icon Pro socket sets. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 12/2/24 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
With WWNC, you can have traffic reports in your bedroom.
Get the latest traffic updates anywhere you've got a smart speaker.
And find out about your drive before you even get in the car.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. You can see our lovely faces if you so choose to. You can also get into the chat and weigh in on this week's
Power Rankings Tuesday.
There you go. Power Rankings
Tuesday. Weird way.
It's a Power Rankings Tuesday. It's the day every week where we power rank the teams in the NFL after the week's action. We always start at the bottom.
We're like Drake. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, at number 32 this week.
Wow. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The same team it was last week.
Yeah, you're bad. You're bad. You didn't get to bad this week, which we're appreciative of.
Thank you for saving us.
I really didn't want that wretchedness on my eyes.
Mm-mm. There's no redeeming quality right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who thought maybe going into the bye week that they would decide that we needed to shake some things up, but apparently they're just going to ride this thing out, which is not really.
It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
It's not really solving any problems, right?
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you look at Jacksonville. What exactly are you getting from Doug Peterson still being employed? I mean, because he's become an absolute joke. I mean, do we think he's going to turn something around here? You're 2-9.
I figured 52-6 would have been enough.
It should have been.
A shellacking like that, where it was clear, I'll say, at least in the third quarter, no Jacksonville Jaguar wanted to be there.
Oh, no. This team's quit to the highest
Precisely.
degree.
I mean, it takes us back down the path of the North Carolina Tar Heels, right? At some point, you have to make the decision. The coach is never going to fire himself. So I would think that you would have wanted to make that decision, when you had a week off to kind of collect yourself. No, what this tells me is that you're fine just being right where you are, and you're going to continue to get dump truck. Now, let's say CJ Stroud comes out of his slump this week and plasters you all over the front page of the Jacksonville Times with another 30-point loss.
Which they're probably going to.
You did it to yourself. Mm-hmm. And every bit of damage here now falls on Shad Khan or whoever the hell is above Trent Baalke right now.
Here's the thing I don't understand, and it's going to be this is going to get a little inside baseball. Trent Baalke's the one that's overseeing your scouts. Why is he still employed? I mean, surely to God, you don't think he's going to make it out of this. That's what I'm getting scared of, is that Peterson's going to be the sacrificial lamb, and they're going to go, well, we'll let Trent Baalke hire his own coach.
Mm-hmm.
Come again for Judge Fudge?
Didn't he already do that?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. But now he's also overseeing your scouts. He's allocating resources, and it doesn't make any sense. This team is horrifically bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you're making yourself look like a clown show.
Sitting at 2-9, and you have a generational, quote-unquote, quarterback on this team. Yeah. It could not have gone worse. I'm not saying he's still in that category. What I'm saying is he will always have that tag, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are the prime poster children of a dead franchise that's never been able to get out of its way.
But they're not the only one.
Nah, that's true. How about number 31?
Get the gabagool! They're Tommy Collins!
The New York Football Giants.
Whoa.
I mean, is that a dead organization?
I didn't have Baker Mayfield doing the Tommy Cutlets thing on my bingo card. Yikes. That was a travesty. And now I cannot help but really hope that Jerry Jones does the funniest thing maybe in the history of time.
Mm-hmm.
Please go sign Daniel Jones today. Please just have him on the roster for Thursday as we're all eating our turkey and our dressing and all of the things. I would just really like to look up and see old Daniel T. Jones. It would make me very happy.
You got the Thursday game at the Cowboys. The Cowboys hosting the New York Giants. I don't know what I don't know what you expect out of this team. If you're a New York Giants fan, you were hoping, I guess, that little Tommy Cutlets spike was going to happen.
It did not.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went, no, sir, not today. I didn't think they were going to. I had it all full in my mind that Todd Bowles was going to Todd Bowles this thing up.
I laughed at you when you told me that.
And Tommy DeVito was going to come out and throw for 3 bills on this defense.
I want you to can you find me a bright spot for the New York Giants from Sunday?
No.
I can't either.
No. You didn't do anything.
Your defense was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bucky Irving just scored again. At the very he only had 1 touchdown. They had 4 rushing touchdowns from 4 different people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not easy to do.
Malik Neighbors didn't get targeted at all in the first half.
No.
What would you say is it that you do here?
You know what he do here?
Hey,
Tommy Cutlets.
I mean, I get it was bad, right? I get it, but you didn't target him once in the first half.
If any other team put Joe Pesci from My Cousin Vinny in as their spark, we would mercilessly crucify you for weeks on end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we're letting it pass with the New York Giants.
Because they're not relevant. Because nobody cares. The only people that care are the people that live in New York.
Oh, the Giants have a lot of fans, but even the fans don't seem to care.
The Yankees fans. Those are the only ones that care. Because I'm not sure there's much crossover there. With Mets fans and Giants fans. You said that the other day, and now it's got me thinking, like, wait a minute. That is true. Every Jet fan I know is a Mets fan, and every Giants fan I know is a Yankees fan. So
it's a clear separation.
Right, so the Yankees fans are the only ones that care right now, and otherwise you're irrelevant to the entire story of the NFL.
The only place where that transition doesn't work, I mean, you can go football, basketball, baseball. Hockey's the one that gets weird because they have 3 teams. They got the Rangers, the Islanders, and the Devils.
And the Devils, yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of get a split of the Jets fans that they just kind of pick one. Because you get a lot of Jet fans at Ranger games. You get a lot of Jet fans at Devil games. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, New York's the only city in the country where you would get Tommy DeVito.
Yes.
Tommy DeVito, I mean, and trust me, I'll give you a reference if you want me to. Does the name Tyler Thigpen mean anything to you?
I remember that name.
Yeah, he played at Coastal Carolina. He started for the Chiefs for a couple games,
Yeah.
and they went, out! Get out! That's because he was Tommy Cutlet's 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
It's because well-run franchises don't do that.
The Giants are terrible. Brian Daboll's getting fired. Joe Shane's getting fired. They're obviously resetting the decks here. I don't know. I heard a theory the other day that maybe Brian Daboll got the go-ahead. Like turning it over to Tommy DeVito. Is that a sign that he's been told he's going to be retained?
Oh, I think Daboll's coming back.
You think so?
I'm almost positive at this point he's coming back.
All right.
They could still surprise me.
I don't know that you should do that, but it hasn't gone well. And the Giants are irrelevant, and that's why they find themselves at number 31. How about number 30, Jeremy?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, I'm glad you finally came around to my side.
We finally came around. They were 30 last week, too,
Of just well, no, but I finally got the admittance from your suckhole yesterday of Tank was right. I don't get to hear that often from Jeremy, so I revel in it a little bit.
Well, you should be right more often.
Look, blind squirrels find nuts every day.
If you beat right more often, you would hear it more often.
The Raiders at 2-9, and my oh my, how the season has turned in a 7-game losing streak here. And I don't know I don't know that you're going to win another game.
They're just so hapless, but then they have these quarters, and they had one against the Broncos where Tyree Wilson all of a sudden shows up and has his best game of the year, and they keep it close with Denver. And I cannot put my finger on it, but now with no Gardner Minshew, it's time for Desmond Ridder. This feels like the time in an infomercial with a really crappy product where the goofy guy goes, but wait, there's more. And call right now and we'll double it for nothing. Except the shipping and handling, which you're not reading because it's in really little print. But wait, there's more. You thought we were bad with a competent quarterback. Wait till you see what happens with this jackal.
Which, again, I felt like the Raiders, I mean, they could be a landing spot for Daniel Jones.
Do you have the box score of the Bronco game pulled up in front of me?
I do not, but I can.
No. Don't pull it up because
Okay.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
The leading rusher for the Raiders in that game was who?
Amir Abdullah.
He was 2. He had 8 carries for 28 yards.
Was it?
I am 100% sure you did not know this guy. Not only didn't play for the Las Vegas Raiders, I am convinced you would not know he is in this league, and you do the draft with me every year.
Huh. So it wasn't Dylan Lobby?
Nope.
Was it?
He had a nice kick return, though.
Kendrell Tompkins.
There are no less than 3 things wrong with what you just said. No. Sincere McCormick.
Yeah.
Former UTSA Roadrunner. Boop, boop.
There you go.
I liked him a lot the year he came out. He was on the practice squad. They elevated him, and then, here, you do it.
Yeah, you're bad.
Bad.
What's wrong with Kendrell Tompkins?
He was a wide receiver. That would be the.
Well, that's why when you said leading rusher. That's why I thought it was going to be.
He's been out of the league forever.
Has he?
I saw Devin Tompkins playing for the Carolina Panthers. Too. Don't worry, they're coming up soon. And I thought that was Kendrell Tompkins and went, damn, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Nope.
Younger version. Real fast.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, the Raiders are terrible. And there's no hope there. At number 29.
Speaking of Devin Tompkins, the Carolina Panthers. Hey, all right? We're seeing growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not leading to wins. That's okay. I have no qualms with any of the things you're doing. Just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need from you. I don't want it to be good. I want to see a little bit of good from Bryce Young. I want to see some development of these young guys, but I don't want to see you win games. Because I would be looking at Travis Hunter right now going, that could be fun. That could be a lot of fun.
It could be. Two birds with one stone in that scenario. You get a shutdown corner, and you're going to get a nice little wide receiver piece that you can use from time to time.
Oh, I was corrected in the chat. Apparently, Aiden O'Connell was back at practice this week.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, it hasn't hit the NFL wire, so I did not see that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So he could possibly play for the Raiders and they'll still lose? Awesome.
Well, I mean, that's the only team in the NFL that's now it's the old man with the shirt, but he's got two of them. Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ridder.
We know your style. He's easy to shop for.
I feel like Carolina is improving week to week. And if you're a Panther fan, that's all you could really ask for.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like Bryce Young has shut down we've got to go find a quarterback. You and I were listening to somebody the other day, and I'm not going to call them out for the stupidity that came out of their mouth, of what should be done with Bryce Young. Here's what should be done. You keep him in the building because he's cheap, and he is bar none the most talented player you can get in that spot. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Young would be the number one quarterback in this draft class, and I'm not sure it would be all that close.
It was starting to turn that way of maybe we do. Maybe we've got to do something different. Maybe we got to pull the plug. Maybe we got to Josh Rosen this kid. We talked about all of it. But then you turned around and you pulled off a couple of wins against really bad teams. You took the Chiefs to the wire. I mean, you had a tie ball game. You did that thing where you let Patrick Mahomes have enough time to get you in field goal range and your defense couldn't stand up. How many times have we seen that play out against teams better than this? Right? We've seen that play out against really good teams. There's no shame in losing to the Chiefs that way. Now it's how do you rebound? How do you come back the rest of the season?
I don't love.
Can you pull off one of your annual we're going to screw Tanks weekend up and beat the Buccaneers? Probably.
Bryce Young has 1,083 yards passing on the season. Yards are not a big stat to me. They just don't really matter that much. In the last 4 games, he has over 700 yards. He had just under 300 in the first 4 games of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That should tell you a lot. It should tell you a lot about where he's at.
Yeah.
If you watch him, you can see that he looks different now. He's really, I would say, absorbing the playbook. I think the sitting him down worked out nicely. I think it's working nicely to have Andy Dalton in the building. I would probably have Andy Dalton back next year, to be 100% honest with you.
Yep.
And if it crashes and burns next year, it crashes and burns next year. But I'm not putting another quarterback back there.
Yeah.
He's done enough in the last 4 games. He just turned 23 years old.
Yep. All right, those are the bad of the worst. Now, we're still in the poo tier here.
Oh, we're still very much in the...
We're solidly in the these teams got a lot of stuff to work on. We'll get back into the power rankings after the break here on ESPN Asheville, number 28 for Week 13.
Harbor Freight knows tool people like to keep busy. But with our Black Friday sale coming up Thanksgiving weekend, you'll want to free up some time. We're talking deals like our 5,000-watt generators under $800, 17-foot ladders for $99.99, and 40% off Icon Pro socket sets. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 12/2/24 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day, and smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is ESPN Asheville, and this is a
Power Ranking Tuesday.
That's right, and working our way through the god-awful of the NFL. There's lots of storylines with these bad teams. That's why we always get bogged down in the mire here. The New York Jets coming up at number 28. No, at number 28?
The New York Football Jets.
The New York Jets are a prime example of one of these teams that I don't know what you're doing here.
You are poopy.
You don't have a coach. You don't have a GM. You're not going to have a quarterback after this year. I mean, he keeps saying he wants to play next year.
Yeah, he's just leaving out the next line, which is just not for the Jets. I want to play next year, just not for you. I mean, I feel like it's in the cards. He's going to the Minnesota Vikings.
You think so?
And then he's going to, steal from some welfare thing in Mississippi.
What are they going to give you for him, though? He's under contract, isn't he?
I don't care. You got any of these monsters laying around? Because I would take one
case. No, just a can.
One.
I'm just going to give you one.
Yeah, this one's still cold. So
can you
take your time.
Can you throw in an Arizona iced tea for me? Can we get one more can out of that deal?
I think you're the only person on the planet that still drinks that.
I love those things. I do. I'm a cheapman, and they're still 99 cents.
Yeah, something about canned carbonated sweet tea.
It's not carbonated.
It's in a can.
Yeah,
so
it's not carbonated.
It's got some kind of gas in there, bruh, or it would go bad. So, I'm no Scientologist, but I got a pretty good idea there is a gas in there somewhere.
Probably somewhere. It's not a carbonated beverage, though. Anyhow.
Eamon Report asked what team is going to want Aaron Rodgers. I have no idea. There is somebody desperate enough somewhere. It's not Minnesota. Because Sammy D MVP is the franchise quarterback of Minnesota.
The Cleveland Browns. Why don't we throw more money at this quarterback situation?
That would be phenomenal. The Jets are just hapless.
They're awful.
Hey, DJT. Any way you could get old Woody Johnson out of the way before this season ends, that'd be awesome.
Hopefully that'll clear some
Could
things
you
up
get
for
old Woody, old Johnson out the way, please?
Yeah.
Give us the non-phallic named Johnson for the coach decision.
Speaking of destinations, possible destinations for Aaron Rodgers, how about number 27?
The Cleveland Browns. Hey, you won a game.
Jameis out here eating dubs in the snow.
You won a game. Good for you. It didn't change much. I mean, look, now there is a possibility that Cleveland here at the end of the year is going to show some gumption.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, do you want them to? Because my answer would be no.
Well, no. I mean, at this point, you're already in a lost season. You're 3-8. Why would you want to win any more games?
Well, it's actually a little worse than that. Do you know who their last 6 games of the season are against?
Who's that?
At the Denver Broncos, at the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City Chiefs, at the Cincinnati Bengals, Miami Dolphins, at the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, boy.
Every one of those is every one of those is a losable game.
Every one of those is a get your brains pounded out of your head game.
I mean, maybe against the Broncos? You think the Broncos are that much stronger than they are?
Patrick Surtain versus Jameis Winston on Monday Night Football.
It doesn't sound good. He can't cover them all, though.
Doesn't really have to. Doesn't have to.
The Cleveland Browns at 27. Number 26.
Go. Oh, no. Who is 26?
The
Dallas Cowboys.
There you go.
I hit the wrong button, and I was like, I don't have a list. I got 3 screens, and I have no list.
We them theys. All right, Dallas Cowboys. They won a game this week. 34-26 over the Washington Commanders. I mean, you got super lucky that you pulled a win out. 4-7. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns at the end of that game. You can't trust this team to win anymore.
No. What happens Sunday? New take, boys and girls. Look, Dallas, it didn't change anything for me. Your ownership's still a joke. You still got the mean guy. No. I don't care. You suck. Something awful.
Give me the headline. Give me the headline of Daniel Jones takes on former team in a spot start. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose here. You should absolutely go and get Daniel Jones and start him right now. Sign him today, start him on Thursday, win that game, and just rub it in their face.
Well, I mean, you can't start. He doesn't know the playbook, so that's physically impossible.
We can do that.
Yeah. Unless you're planning on running.
We're handing it off to Rico Dowdle.
I was about to say, if that were to happen, Rico Dowdle should be in all of your DraftKings lineups because he's fitting to get about 40 carries.
I mean, did you see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ran the ball pretty well against the Giants? We could just run a handoff offense and beat them.
Yeah, it was with Bucky Irving. There's a little bit of a difference there. Cowboys are bad. Jerry Jones actually fully believes you can still make the playoffs, though, which tells you just how crazy he actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, might give Mike McCarthy an extension. Smart guy. A lot of ideas. Also picks up my dry cleaning on Tuesdays.
At number 25.
The New England Football Patriots.
Drake May continues to grow. That's the best thing I got for New England.
Well, and Christian Gonzalez is a dog.
Why do they keep throwing at him, though?
I don't know.
They flashed up a stat during that game on Sunday that said that he had been targeted, I think, like the 3rd most of any cornerback in the NFL. Why are you throwing his way? Why have the opponents of the New England Patriots not figured out how good he is? Stop throwing at him.
Ever. You should never.
The fact that he's one of the most targeted corners in the league is baffling.
That is always a bad idea. Just don't do it. I would make the argument that right now, Christian Gonzalez is a top 5 corner in the NFL.
Okay. Somewhere behind Quinion Mitchell.
Oh, I mean, the legend of Quinion Mitchell. He's certainly on my card for the Senior Bowl this year.
Yes.
If you had hired me last year, Quinion Mitchell would be your starting number 1 corner because I think I said that for about 15 teams.
You did.
What would you say you're doing right now?
Patriots losing to the Dolphins again. You got the Colts, Cardinals, Bills, Chargers, Bills left on the season. You're in that same mode of let's just come out here, let's look competent and lose every game.
And that's what you want to do. You
You're
want to keep finding pieces. I think you've got a handful of them on offense. You need to overhaul that offensive line with a dump truck. But I do think you have the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been this good with me playing wide receiver. What do you think he would do with an actual weapon? I have a funny feeling Travis Hunter is going to be with the New England Patriots. I'm not real sure how it's going to happen, but I see it I would really like him to play for my team. Of course he's going to New England.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400 a week. 13 power rankings continue after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine, breezy to windy and cooler out here this afternoon. High temperatures only in the middle part of the 50s, all the way down to near freezing tonight. Clouds mix in with the sunshine tomorrow, still a bit breezy. Afternoon highs on Wednesday, upper part of the 50s. Cloudy with scattered showers Thursday for Thanksgiving Day. Afternoon highs, middle to upper 50s. Colder Friday, mix of clouds and sunshine. High temperatures, low to mid 40s. I'm Ken Boone with the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Bojangles. It's always bow time.
It's bow time. Trying Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make. Because when you're on the go, who doesn't love bite-sized hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection? Now with our peach honey pepper sauce, the hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. It's bow time.
Life is complicated. Your health insurance shouldn't be. That's why CareSource offers specialized marketplace health plans built specifically for your health challenges. Now our benefits are better than ever before. We even have plans for our members with chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease. You'll get your own care manager too. Affordable health coverage, strong network, one-on-one support. CareSource Marketplace Health Plans. We got you. Learn more at caresource.com/marketplace. CareSource North Carolina Company.
We need your help to protect your right to AM radio in your car. AM is always there in times of need with the key information for our community. The overwhelming majority of legislators support a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time's running out. Please text the 2 letters AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month. Text stop to stop. A message from the station.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community Heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. NFL Week 13 Power Rankings on a
Power Rankings Tuesday.
I got to get enough out of him. We got a short week this week, and I got to make sure that he stays engaged.
After that sandwich I just ate, I may be asleep.
That was a massive Sammy.
Yeah, I made 2 of them last night. I'm not real sure how I got bacon, but
you just blindly made bacon in your sleep or something. Were you making them at night?
I was making them at night.
He was definitely making them at night.
For sure I was making them at night. I can't believe that you didn't say that the first 2 times that I told you the story. We're making them at
We're
night.
making them at night. What kind of sandwich was it? Just curious.
Lots. It had about a pound of meat on it. Ham, turkey.
Okay, all right.
Bacon.
It's all the lunch meats.
It was wonderful.
Very nice. Very nice. You know what I'm looking forward to?
Turkey leftover Thanksgiving.
Oh, I almost just want to call it quit. Like we'll lay out the whole spread for the family, and then 10 minutes into it, tell everybody just to go home. Everybody go home. You leave your turkey. She'll be making sandwiches in about 4 hours. Y'all come back then. That's the highlight.
Everybody gets one piece of dark meat. You cut in that breast, we gonna fight, bro, because that's mine for tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you always say my childhood. Oh, Jeremy's childhood was. My parents make an extra turkey just so there's extra breast for me for Thanksgiving leftovers, and that's what happens when you're an only child with parents that love you.
They made 2 turkeys just so you could have
Not all
leftovers.
of you get that, but I do.
Nice. Very nice.
You want to know why I'm so egotistical? Boop, boop, boop.
We did the accounting yesterday. We have 3 turkeys that are being made for our family meal, so everybody's going to have enough leftovers for Sammy's.
Sweet.
My wife makes the best leftover turkey sandwiches. I cannot wait. It's going to be so exciting.
You've never had one of mine.
Yeah, but
and
you put all
night.
but you put all the things on it, and then see, I don't.
What things do I put on it that don't belong on a Thanksgiving leftover sandwich?
I mean, I know how you got the thirst maker or the moist maker or whatever the hell it is.
Of course I do. It's soaked in gravy. That's the middle tier. And you got the turkey and the stuffing, and there's a thin layer on each side. You cut it in half. You put it on top. You put that on the bread to keep all the moisture in and keep it from hitting the bread. You throw a little cranberry mayonnaise spread in the middle. That's next level fat guy stuff right there. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the 7-layer salad, and you put that right on top of the moist maker. Bow!
Whoa.
Beat that. Firehouse. Actually, Firehouse's is really good. I've had it twice. It's awesome.
That's a lot of stuff on a sandwich. That's a lot.
Actually, it's funny you brought this up because mine from last year just appeared on my Facebook feed. I'll get the picture over to the stream and I'll put it up.
It's timeline.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. You make some great sandwiches. I'm not gonna lie.
And I make them at night.
Week 13 power rankings, number 24.
The New Orleans Houdat Saints.
Who day? No, who dat?
You got a shot to impress me and say, oh, it was Dennis Allen this week. Sorry, beating the Falcons, that really didn't do it for me. Beating the Browns, that really didn't do it for me. This is the week. You're coming off a bye. You're catching a limping Rams team. If you're able to come in and just give that knockout shot and look impressive against the Rams, they could take a sizable step forward. I don't think the Saints are a bad team. Tay says it was Dennis Allen. I understand that you think that. It's hard for me to believe that. It's also hard for me to believe a special teams coach is unwinding that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you haven't done anything to make me fully believe it yet. You got time. They're still they're also killed by injuries, which is not untrue. That's very true. Problem is you're still killed by injuries.
I just don't think you're proving anything. Okay, so maybe we do come out, we get a win over the Rams. For what? Like, are you not at the point with New Orleans that we're at with all of these other teams of you should just not. Just don't do anything. You don't want to win.
Because that's an older team, and they are 2 games out of first in their division.
They're out of it. You think there's a way?
There's a way.
Okay.
There's a way.
You need a lot of help. You need a lot of help.
What's the help you need?
You need Atlanta to lose. You need Tampa to lose.
Have you looked at Atlanta's schedule?
Yeah, it's
by the way, you've already got a win over Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have a win over you as well.
Well, I mean, you're 2. That's what I'm saying, though. You're 2 full games behind them, and you don't have an easy schedule coming up. I mean, you've got the Rams
really
next. It's not going to be easy. You've got the Commanders on that schedule. They're not going to be easy.
Don't look as daunting as they did. The only game on that schedule that I'm looking at going, you ain't winning there, is you're not going to Lambeau and beating Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me they won those last 5 games, I wouldn't be shocked in the least. Would not be shocked in the slightest. And you win those. You win 5 of your next 6.
9 and 17.
You wind up 9 and 8, and that could be enough to win this division. Because the Falcons look like decrepit, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
You just got slaughtered by the Denver Broncos. And please, God, don't tell me that you're really buying into your Buccaneers.
No. I mean, they're better than the Saints.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think these 3 teams are very close to each other.
Okay. I do not. The Saints are bad. They're not playing for anything. I mean, technically, I guess mathematically, yeah, you still got a chance.
You're 2 games out. You've won 2 in a row. You're 100% playing for something.
Mm-hmm.
In that god-awful division, and with a team that old, yeah, you're still playing for something. There's what's the reason to roll over and die? Half the players on this team aren't going to be here in 2 years anyway. Well, what do I care? I mean, you're killed against the salary cap. What are you worried about? Your draft pick's going to get a little worse? Look at your draft record. It ain't exactly bullets, shall we say.
That's kind of why you need it to be better, don't you? You need.
Yeah, that's not a team. Nobody in that division outside of the Panthers is rolling over and dying. None of you are good enough. There is no team. I honestly cannot look at any team in that division and say they are solidly better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That is 3 dog water teams, but one of you is going to make the playoffs. And the Saints are still in it. As I watch the wings fall off the Falcons, yeah, I can't roll over and die yet.
Okay. Number 23.
The Tennessee Titans. Hey, good Will Levis. I like good Will Levis. That's the one that I wanted to see. Will Levis and Bryce Young are both showing, hey, you forgot about us. You wrote us off, but we ain't dead yet. And I think they both cemented that they will both be starting for these 2 teams next year. Whether Brian Callahan likes it or not.
I don't know how you can be happy about that. But he hasn't killed you, right? The last 4 games, he hasn't been
3. You're right. It's Chargers, bad. Vikings, Texans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's against 3 good teams. And he's been, I would say, good to really good in those 3 games. I would be very encouraged if I was a Titan fan by what I've seen.
Okay. All right. Number 22.
You're also a little bit old, and you need a weapon of some kind. Titan fans, when mock drafts come out, I'll go ahead and tell you, that's going to be a receiver for you, not a quarterback. Looking at one Titaroa McMillan. That would be fun to throw to with big arm Will Levis.
Okay. Number 22.
The Indianapolis Colts. I don't really know what you are. I know you're really not fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. I know you're not good.
Watching an Indianapolis Colt video is a lot like.
Did you see anything from Anthony Richardson this week that made you think he had taken the turn?
No, you already know the answer to that.
Of course
you also stepped on my analogy, which worked out nicely because I hadn't finished it yet, but then I found it.
Mm-hmm.
Watching a Indianapolis Colt game is a lot like watching a birthing video of one of your own children. You want to love it because you do love it's football. You love that.
Yeah.
But, man, it is painful to watch. You should step on more of my analogies. That worked out nicely.
Just tiptoeing through the tulips here. I'm just trying not to.
We making them at night.
Yeah.
It's the perfect time to say that.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Richardson.
Sucks.
Something
awful.
Terrible. Awful. Indianapolis, that's not a good team.
They had one drive in that entire game that was really impressive. And basically, they were running the wing tee. I'm good on all of that. If I were the Colts and any team would give me anything for Anthony Richardson, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hopeless.
Cut your losses and get out.
I honestly think Anthony Richardson's future in this league is playing tight end, not playing quarterback. He's athletic. I mean, he's got a spot in this league. I don't doubt that at all. He's just not a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Are we going to start running Wildcats with him and stuff?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's basically what they did last week anyway. Then the Lions figured that out and went, don't think so, bruh. We're going to put 8 dudes in the box. What are you going to do now? Oh, nothing.
At number 21.
The Chicago Bears. Hey, speaking of another team with a quarterback that I don't believe in at all, I find it really funny. I heard Mike Greenberg say this, I guess it was yesterday. Caleb Williams is developing right before our very eyes. No, he's not. I mean, was he a little better? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He still does things. There are certain things that I see quarterbacks do that you're not a quarterback. You've played this position this long, and you do not know that this is the one thing you can't do right here. And he does it every single week. And I've never seen a quarterback that did. I don't care how young you are. I don't care how bad the team you're playing for is. I don't care about any of that. And now I ask you this question. You look at Caleb Williams and how bad he's been this year. How bad do you think he would have been with the Carolina Panthers?
Awful.
That scenario that Bryce Young went into last year, how bad do you think this quarterback would have been with that team?
Mm-hmm.
I would take Bryce Young right now 100 times out of 100 over Caleb Williams and wouldn't think about it. Not one time. I get you want him to be good. He's not. Right now, I feel like Bear fans it's almost like that parent that's watching their kid going, hey, why does he eat so many Funyuns? And why does his jacket smell like Pine Sol? Oh, because he's smoking crimes. But you don't want to see that. You don't want to see what is actually happening. So you fight me, and you get, oh, you're a hater. I also love when I get called a racist. That never stops being funny to me.
They've been whipping that one out again?
Oh, yeah. Anytime I say anything about Caleb Williams.
I remember the Justin Fields era of that, but I didn't realize they were back with that again.
That never stops being funny to me.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me knows why that's so comical. And if you want to ask me, feel free. I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's bleak because you thought it was going to be better. We said coming into this year that no other rookie quarterback has all of the advantages that Caleb Williams has. And he's still been bad. Has he turned in some games that look statistically okay? Yeah. This past week was one. What was he, 31 of 47 or something like that?
31 of 48.
Yeah, for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. You're going to get that at times. But Caleb it does all come down to the decision-making.
Caleb Williams' passer rating under pressure is 63.9. Caleb Williams' clean pocket passer rating is a 91.9.
Mm-hmm.
In a clean pocket, if you cannot consistently go in, I will say over 100 just because I'm trying to be nice. Conversely, Jared Goff's in a clean pocket. What do you think it is?
105.
Higher.
114.
Higher. It's 120.
120.
119.9.
Yeah.
A good quarterback in a clean pocket will eviscerate you. Caleb Williams can't do it.
Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of learning to do. He's going to need leadership, and he ain't getting it from this coach or this staff, apparently. Chicago Bears, it was, I guess it's fun. Is it fun for you to be in these games and then lose in heartbreaking fashion? Don't worry, you won't be in the game when it comes up on Thursday. I'm curious to see just how bad the Detroit Lions are going to win this game. How bad are the Lions going to beat the Bears on Thanksgiving?
It'll be fun for us to watch while we eat our lunch. I'll put it that way.
At number 20.
The San Francisco 4th and Niners.
That's weird. They just keep creeping down this list.
Worse and worse. And, it's weird. It's almost like some lovable fat guy once told you that this team had atrophied, and you were going to slowly see it start to trickle, and it's trickled down.
Mm-hmm. San Francisco 49ers losing, just massively to the Green Bay Packers this week. And it's not going to get easier because you got the Bills next. And what do you think they're going to do to you? I have no words of advice. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to think.
Stay off social media.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
That's a great one. That's a great idea because I don't have any words of advice for my San Francisco 49er friends. Because you should be better than this, but you're not. And there's a bunch of blame to go around.
Chio in our YouTube chat said the Bears are not worse than the 49ers. I'm not going to lie to you. I considered that one. The problem is one of them has a pedigree of knowing how to win. The other one doesn't.
Yes.
That was really the only. I wouldn't, if you wanted to switch those two, I wouldn't argue with you.
I wouldn't either. You wouldn't get much argument from me either.
You get zero argument from me.
San Francisco 49ers at 20. Number 19.
I put up number 18. I'm not good with this whole slide thing. The Los Angeles Rams.
Still a fun offense, but you're limited. And you got smacked in the mouth.
You know what makes my brain hurt about the Rams?
What's that?
They never have games where they put it all together. Ever. Ever. The games where they run really well, they can't throw. The games where they can throw, they can't run. Mm-hmm. The games where they can stop the pass, they get killed by the run. And vice versa. It seems like this team just never puts all the pieces together. By the way, do you remember the thing I said when we previewed this game? Every time they see Byron Young, they're going to run to that side.
Oh, yeah.
And I went back and watched the tape. Every single time I saw him lined up over there. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got stomped by one of the best teams in the league. You still got a lot of wins left on this schedule, in my opinion. You've got the 49ers. You got the Jets. You can probably, I don't know, maybe you can get up on the Seahawks.
I feel like every team in that division is, to me, every team in the NFC West is very close to each other. I don't think there's any real distance between them.
Mm-hmm.
1 week to the next, one of them will look impressive and one of them won't, especially when they beat each other. But there's no team in this division that I don't think can beat any other team in this division.
No. It's all one giant mishmash.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's been that way for a while. The problem is San Francisco was way out far in front of everybody else the past couple of years. Problem is they're not there anymore. Now they've sunk back down to the level of the rest of you, and they're falling, and I still feel like everybody else is kind of on the rise. Los Angeles has that potential. The Arizona Cardinals, they slipped up this week, but they're on the rise. Number 18.
Fire them cannons, by golly, put more powder in those things.
Oh, it's fun when you get to just beat up on the worst team in the league.
We should all get to play the New York Giants once. Just to feel gooder about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is I still don't think you're the best team in your division. Because
at number 17,
the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing this because they're right there on top of each other. I don't see a huge difference. I believe in the talent of the Falcons. I believe in the coaching staff of the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
But you've shown a proclivity for really liking to let down.
Yep.
I don't buy any of them. I don't buy anybody in this entire division. One of you's going to get a playoff game, and I'll give you a piece of advice. Water your hair that day.
Because it ain't going to go well.
Nope. Deactivate your Twitter, especially if people know you pull for that team, because it's going to be a bad day.
The Buccaneers snapping a 4-game losing streak, beating the New York Giants this week. The Saints have dropped back-to-back games to the Saints and the Broncos. They got the Chargers and the Vikings next. That could be
Falcons
concerning.
have dropped back-to-back games.
Or,
you said the Saints.
I'm sorry. The Falcons, have dropped back-to-back games to the Saints and the Broncos. They are back at home this week. They're playing the Los Angeles Chargers, and that ain't going to be easy.
I genuinely believe that's the most important game of this week. I think that is the most important game on the schedule. And if I can find a way to get to Atlanta, you rest assured I will be there.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The top half of the NFL coming up next here on a Power Rankings Tuesday.
There is a trailblazer in all of us, an explorer looking for new challenges, a restless spirit longing to get out. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek is here to fuel the adventurer inside you. With intelligent all-wheel drive, rocky roads and snowy trails become your playground. Hop in and go explore. Adventure calls in the first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek. Intelligent all-wheel drive AWD cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
This holiday season, let's spread love that goes beyond Christmas. When you give to the Salvation Army of Asheville, you're not just helping provide food, shelter, and gifts during the holidays, you're giving hope that lasts all year. Your generosity supports families in need, offering them a brighter future. Donate to the Salvation Army of Asheville online today and be the reason that someone feels loved and supported. Not just this Christmas, but all year long.
All across the Tar Heel State, this is Carolina football.
Stepping through a tackle and stepping to the end zone. It is pouring points in Chapel Hill. Holy cow, Carolina's going to win!
The Heels close out the regular season against NC State. Pre-game coverage starts at 2:30, kickoff at 3:30 on your home for Carolina football.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Ingalls Giving Tree benefiting Manna Food Bank will be at the Asheville Mall. Bring non-perishable items to the donation barrels at local Ingalls locations or donate online. Join Ingalls Markets, iHeartRadio Asheville, WLOS, and the Asheville Citizen-Times so Manna Food Bank can fill empty plates this holiday season.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine, breezy to windy and cooler out here this afternoon. High temperatures only in the middle part of the 50s, all the way down to near freezing tonight. Clouds mix in with the sunshine tomorrow, still a bit breezy. Afternoon highs on Wednesday, upper part of the 50s. Cloudy with scattered showers Thursday for Thanksgiving Day. Afternoon highs, middle to upper 50s. Colder Friday, mix of clouds and sunshine. High temperatures, low to mid 40s. I'm Ken Boone with the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale is here, and it's your chance to hit the sleep jackpot. Starting Friday, shop major doorbusters and get a queen mattress for $89.99, plus a free pillow. Offer ends Sunday. In-store pickup only. See store for details.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
Harbor Freight knows tool people like to keep busy. But with our Black Friday sale coming up Thanksgiving weekend, you'll want to free up some time. We're talking deals like our 5,000-watt generators under $800, 17-foot ladders for $99.99, and 40% off Icon Pro socket sets. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 12/2/24 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
We're back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We are heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat on this
Power Rankings Tuesday.
We've got the top half of the league to go over the next hour of the program.
Our names have gone cattywampus on the YouTube stream, and I'm not real sure why.
Oh, okay.
My name is running the way it's supposed to, and yours lags behind about 6 seconds.
Okay.
Well, sure why that's happening.
All right, technology's always interesting. Welcome back into the program at the 16 spot in the Week 13 NFL Power Rankings. Just run-of-the-mill, milquetoast average team.
The Miami Dolphins.
There it is. He had to search for it. It was so unassuming he had to search for it.
It was. I don't think Miami's terrible. I also don't think they're good. But they're dangerous. Because if they ever figure it out, and for a half they did against New England, and they looked pretty impressive. And then they didn't. I don't think that's a well-coached team.
Yeah. I love Mike. I do. I love him to death. Mad props, coach. But this may not be your final destination. I mean, yes, you got to win this week, but it's not really over a team that anybody's really excited about, and that makes back-to-back games where you took care of business. Right? You had to come in and you beat the Raiders handily. You come in and you beat the New England Patriots handily. You had that win against the Rams, so you're on a 3-game winning streak. Now you get to go to Lambeau Field on Thanksgiving and play a Packers team that, well, they're frankly just better than you. And they're riding high after beating the snot out of San Francisco, who's not a good team, but that still carries in that locker room. That's still like a rivalry win for them. I just don't know what your expectations should be for this team. Like if we just limp to 9-8, Is that going to be enough to keep the Wolves at bay? Is that going to be enough to keep ownership off the back of the coach to try to have one more year to build a contender out of this?
2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have certainly said I think Mike McDaniel's on borrowed time. Now I don't know. The expectations were so high, and I know you're going to let down on those because even if everything went completely sideways and Miami found a way to sneak in as the 7 seed, I don't think you're dangerous to anybody. I mean, the Buffalo Bills would happily, please let that be who we have to face. Please let that be who we have to face. Eamon Report said Chris Greer still needs to go. I don't disagree with you at all. I would be in favor of letting Chris Greer go and keeping Mike McDaniel. You're so far down that rabbit hole. I just don't know who you think you could put in place there other than Ben Johnson that's going to be able to use all these pieces the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to understand, there are some great disadvantages to your 2 outside receivers being Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You got 2 guys that can't block me, so you have no ability to run to the outside. Your only ability is to run outside zone and hope you can get enough of a shade out there from that receiver to keep the DB from getting into the play.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you've got to have linemen that run downhill, and it's just from a sheer strategic standpoint, it is really, really difficult to run an offense that way. But they do have hope. This is really the first of the teams that have any form of hope. It's a little delusional for this one and the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a little hope.
The Jonnu Smith revitalization tour is in full swing.
He's always been a good player.
I feel like he scored 4 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks.
Well, I mean, the funny thing about Jonnu Smith is he's as much of a tight end as I am a ballerina dancer. But, I mean, you keep lining him up out there. I mean, he can't block to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a matchup nightmare because he is a squatty little tight end that is rather athletic, and he's hard to defend.
Yeah, find himself getting open there in the red zone. He's become a threat, and as long as Miami is putting up points, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Maybe they've unlocked something here in the last few weeks.
PFF, I always have to preface this with I don't love their grading system, but it is a nice analytical metric. Of 80 graded tight ends, Jonnu Smith is 74th in terms of blocking.
Is he really?
Yeah.
In blocking?
By the way, Taysom Hill is listed as a tight end too. So that's one of the ones he's beating.
Right. So he doesn't block
at all.
But he's been catching the red zone passes here the last few weeks. And I guess that's all you can ask for.
Receiving grade, he's 4.
There you go. At number 15.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
4-7. Back-to-back losses to the Ravens and the Chargers. You got the Steelers still left twice. Other than that, every other game looks, and I'm not saying that the Steelers games aren't winnable. I'm just saying they're the toughest. They're the toughest games that you have left on the schedule. Every other game, though, you got the Cowboys, the Titans, the Browns, the Broncos. Now, those aren't necessarily quote-unquote easy games. But if you're going to make a push here at the end of the year, these are all games that you should win. These are all teams that I feel like you're more talented than, at least offensively speaking. The question is, are you going to make a run?
They have the talent to. Whether they will or not, I don't know. They have the talent.
If you don't make a run, then you got changes coming.
If this team misses the playoffs, I don't see any way Zach Taylor's the head coach of this team next year.
I don't think you can. And you have to win 5 games to even have a shot at that. Again, you got enough winnable games.
Or have Denver fall off a cliff. That is always on the board.
But is Denver going to backpedal that much? We haven't talked about Denver yet, which I guess should be a good time to bring up number 14.
The Denver Broncos!
Are they going to backslide enough to give the Bengals a shot to get back into the playoffs.
Good Lord. I don't think I realized how bad this was. We'll get to Denver in just a second.
Okay.
The 2 good years for Cincinnati were one of them, they made it to the AFC Championship game. They made the playoffs the other year.
Yep.
Zach Taylor was a combined 22-11. Do you know what his coaching record is outside of those 2 years? He's 18-40. Wow.
That's brutal.
That is bad. And half of his wins came in 1 year. He had 9 wins in that third year. Other than that, he's 2-14, 4-11, and 1-4-7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I don't think he's long for Cincinnati.
No, and that takes us to number 14. Look, Denver is Sean Payton to me is proving that he's a little better than I thought he was. I still think a lot of this is smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think a lot of this is schedule based. Who have you beaten?
To me, that's not even debatable.
I mean, you beat all the NFC South. Congratulations, you're the NFC South champion.
Your only other wins
are
against the Raiders, the Bucs, and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're the champion of the NFC South, and you're the champion of this show because you beat both of our teams. I just don't know why. The Raiders twice and the Jets. I think I said the Bucs right there. I'm not impressed by any of that. You've played 4 good teams and one that's debatable. You've lost every single one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
You end out with the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Chiefs. I think you will lose all 3 of those games. I feel like the Broncos are going to go 9-8. They're going to go 9-8, and they're going to lose damn near every tiebreaker because 4 of their 9 wins are against the NFC.
Mm-hmm. But still, 9-8, that's enough to be a playoff team.
I'm not sure for Denver it is.
In the AFC?
At 9-8, you got to realize at 9-8, you're bringing back in the Bengals, you're bringing back in the Dolphins, you're keeping the Colts around, and you're going to lose tiebreaker to any of them. Any of them, because you're 4-1 against the NFC, which means your record, if things go the way I think it will go, that means your record against the AFC would be 5-7. That's not going to be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be good enough because that's first tiebreaker. So you wind up in a head-to-head tiebreaker that you don't have a head-to-head win over them, and you won't. You're going to lose.
Yeah.
That game with the Colts in 2 weeks is super important. As you lose that, now you've lost every time. Now there is no scenario that you don't have to be 1 game in front of everybody in the AFC, and I'm not sure you can do it.
And that means you'll have to beat the Bengals, Chargers, or the Chiefs to make that up. And I don't like your chances of doing that. Denver is, again, just they're probably going to be a playoff team in my mind, but they're not a threat to anybody. Which brings us to number 13.
The Arizona Cardinals.
I'm not sure what to make of what happened against Seattle. I mean, you just got manhandled defensively.
What do you want to know? Because I can tell you.
Well, I mean, where was the offense?
The
you
offense
could not generate
the
any. The
offense was the Seattle Seahawks basically stacked the box and said, "You are not going to James Conner us because we feel like our corners in the back half we can go 1-on-1." Mano a mano, your guy against my guy. That's the reason Trey McBride had so many of their passing yards. I went back and watched a little bit of this last night, and I was far more impressed by Mike McDonald's scheme coming into this game than I was down on what I saw of the Cardinals.
Okay.
You ran into a Jimmy's and Joe's problem. They have a lot of them. You don't. And so there's really nothing you can do. They've made you completely one-dimensional. Then they get a lead, which makes you even more one-dimensional. And basically, you don't have the dudes. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., they were giving a lot of attention that way. Michael Wilson, they felt like they could defend him one-on-one, and largely they did.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let you nickel and dime us with Trey McBride. You ain't beating us that way. I still think this team's good. I think they're still one of the best coach teams in the league. But I do have a little bit of a reservation that maybe we got a little ahead of ourselves with the Cardinals because you still have a talent deficiency. That's so hard to overcome in the NFL. You just don't have guys. Mm-hmm. You don't have that guy that you can trust to consistently get to the quarterback, that guy that you trust to consistently win. You have it in Marvin Harrison Jr., but you don't really have it with anybody else. And James Conner can really beat you running one way. Mm-hmm. And if Leonard Williams comes out and has his best game of the year and blows through the center of your line like a hot knife through butter, you didn't have anything else. That was my takeaway. Everybody was losing their mind about Drew Petzing. And what's he doing with the offense? What'd you expect him to do? It's not like he had some ace up his sleeve that's your sixth receiver that's now going to start beating people over the top. You don't have that guy. You got Greg Dortch, who next to me would look like a little kid. I mean, what do you want?
Hell of a returner, though.
You've got a bunch of big physical corners that were manhandling your receivers. Do I think Seattle's drastically better than you? No, I don't. I think they're fractionally better than you.
And the game plan dominated you. That was the number one takeaway that I had from that game was, holy cow. I mean, there's nothing that you can do.
No, but I mean, I still walked away from that thinking these two teams are close, which is evidenced by
the fact that number 12 is
the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, okay, it's a good win.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of the young pieces you have on defense. That defense seems to be getting better over time.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Divine yesterday said something to the effect of, "We're going Legion of Boom 2.0." Can we not come up with a new name? Because that's not what this is.
Yeah.
You got one corner that is he's boom. The other ones are not boom.
Who are you talking about?
Devin Witherspoon.
Witherspoon.
Devin Witherspoon will wreck your soul.
You're off on
no,
Woolen.
it's just that's not what he does.
Okay.
There's a lot to like about Seattle. But then I always come back to the same thing. You know what I'm getting ready to say. It's Geno Smith.
You'll only go as far as he can take you.
And this fallacy that he's anything more than a league average quarterback, it's just not true.
No.
It hasn't been true, and it's not going to be true.
What is the problem with Kenny Walker? He hasn't been.
He takes more negative loss plays than any running back I think I've ever seen.
He just hasn't been real explosive lately.
He has explosive plays.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kenny Walker is trying to overcompensate. He's looking at Geno Smith going, my God, you take a lot of sacks. And you throw a lot of interceptions, and I need to be a home run hitter. And he's trying to hit a home run on every run instead of just taking the single and the double when it presents itself.
Mm-hmm. So always dancing around looking for an extra hole somewhere.
He dances a lot. I'm actually looking. Wow, I would not have thought that.
What's that?
How many running backs in the NFL have a better run grade than Kenny Walker in 2024?
Ooh, I'm going to guess it's not very many, judging by that response. I don't know, 16?
You want to hear it again?
None of them?
Number one. Which this is where I get to PFF and go, explain that one to me. I'm going to need you to explain it to me. Explain it real slow.
Yeah,
I want you to tell me this one like I'm 4, and I don't even know what words are. Because that's not what I see.
That's not what I see
I
either.
see a good running back.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of see the same problem with Kenny Walker that I have with Geno Smith. The good is very good.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's that negative of you can't just take the 4-yard gain when it's put in front of you. And then you put this thing behind the chains. I think all of this works in cohesion with each other. You've got a running back that puts you behind the chains from time to time. Geno gets behind the chains. The pass rushers start coming. He starts taking sacks. He takes enough sacks. He starts throwing ill-advised passes, and that's where the interceptions come from.
Yeah.
And it's a great big vicious cycle of this offense looks really good, and then it looks completely awful in the same game.
What did you say he ranked number 1 at?
Run grade.
Run grade.
He's 4th among running backs in overall grade.
I mean, does that take into account just like getting what's blocked for you?
Yes.
And his whole line is not good, so he's getting all of the yards that are blocked for him? Because the guy's averaging like 3 yards a carry?
I'll tell you what, I'll call Trevor Sikkema after the show
Please.
and be like, T, explain this
Yeah,
to me.
we need to talk.
I don't understand.
We need to talk because this feels like Tony Pollard is the number one running back in the NFL again. Like, remember when we had that popped up last year? Tony Pollard's the number one running back in the NFL, PFF grade-wise. Yeah. Is he, though?
Although he's been good this year, too.
He has been very good. And you know me, I like Tony Pollard, but that was dumb then. It's dumb now. And this seems dumb to me as well. Unless you're looking at it in the sense of he's got a bottom 3 offensive line and he's getting everything he possibly can. Maybe I'll accept that. It's kind of like Saquon Barkley when he was in New York. Like, you knew he had more in him, but that line was not allowing any of it. So if that's the situation in Seattle, I guess I could see how you come up with that ranking. But when I watched the game against the Cardinals and they brought Zach Charbonnet into the game, there were a couple of times where I thought, oh, well, it can't get any worse than Kenny Walker, so why don't we bring something else in?
Now you're going too far.
I mean, in that game. Like, he was not – I did not feel like he was good at any point in that game. And I kept hoping that maybe bringing in Zach Charbonnet, maybe that will add some lift.
Yeah, I would not agree with that. And I was watching Kenny Walker real close.
Yeah.
Because I had him in a lot of fantasy leagues where I needed every precious point.
Yeah. Didn't work out for you, did it?
I did.
He got you 4.
Did.
Did he catch some passes too? Did he help you? Oh, he did. He did. He got 4 catches for 9. Okay, so he got 9 points in the passing game. That's what saved you.
By the way, this is probably a good time for us to break out. The ESPN has 7 people left in the Scott Fish Bowl.
Woo, woo.
ESPN Asheville has 2.
Yeah, we do.
What it do, baby boo?
I'm number 3 in that group.
100.
No. Out of the ESPN people.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ranked 3rd in that group. Feel pretty good about that.
Stefania Bell is one of the ones in front of me.
She's number 1.
Yes.
Yeah,
by a lot.
She is.
She's in the top 100 overall.
Yeah.
But we're still alive for another week.
That's right. Yeah, I was kind of impressed. I'm glad to see my name above yours on something for once.
Oh, hubris comes shortly before the fall.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Harbor Freight knows tool people like to keep busy. But with our Black Friday sale coming up Thanksgiving weekend, you'll want to free up some time. We're talking deals like our 5,000-watt generators under $800, 17-foot ladders for $99.99, and 40% off Icon Pro socket sets. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 12/2/24 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
What's up, everybody? It's Peter Schrager. We're back for The Season with Peter Schrager. In each episode, I'm going to take you inside and behind the scenes of the conversations that happen at the highest levels of NFL franchises. We're bringing the top GMs, top coaches. We're going to give you the story behind the story that you're probably not getting anywhere else. Each week, I'll bring you conversations on the inside and give you the chance to get to know your favorite personalities in a different way. Listen to The Season with Peter Schrager on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search The Season to start listening.
We need your help to protect your right to AM radio in your car. AM is always there in times of need with the key information for our community. The overwhelming majority of legislators support a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time is running out. Please text the 2 letters AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor for a vote now. Text AM to 52886.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month. Text stop to stop. A message from the station.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
This is G. Degarov, voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire them cannons. By golly, put more powder in those things.
I just hadn't played that one in a while.
Well, you haven't had a whole lot of reason to.
I haven't.
Hey, we got Baker Mayfield. Fire them cannons.
Hey. Tommy Cutler. I did like the.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
I have figured out what it is about Baker Mayfield that is appealing to people. It's because you look at him and you see yourself.
Absolutely.
You see a guy that lives with that same moxie that you think you have.
Yes.
And he's 6 foot, $190, and you go, hey, I identify with that guy.
Yeah.
I never realized that until Coach Briggs and I were talking about this the other day. And he said something that kind of triggered that in my brain, and I went, I think I get it now.
He's just a dude. Like he's a kid that they took off of the playground and put out there, and he still kind of acts like it sometimes. And when he does good things, he reacts the way a snot-nosed, cocky little turd should.
I had never thought of the fact that the average person doesn't really identify with Josh Allen, who's 6'5", 240 pounds. And, well, there's one of our disconnects because I'm bigger than Josh Allen.
Right.
So I don't really ever think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought of it that way.
You can look at Baker Mayfield and go, hey, he's. I mean, in a better world, he's kind of built like me.
That is
not me, but
it's one of the reasons that I love when Coach Briggs winds up in here and we can just have like an hour to talk football. So sometimes I look at Tank and go, "You stay out there. This is my time, okay? You're doing the whole podcast. I'm just making it look pretty.
I get to pick his brain.
My time.
Okay? I get to pick his brain now." It's a lot of fun. We'll have another episode of the Regular Guy podcast coming out tomorrow. So putting the final edits on the latest episode. It'll be all about Kent's battle with cancer and the things that he's been going through in his treatments, and still trying to keep an eye on being a great person and being a great leader, all while dealing with your own personal hell, basically. It's been a great pleasure to do this with Kent, and look for the new episode of the Regular Guy podcast coming out tomorrow. Now,
and hopefully we'll have Kent in studio, and we can make an announcement of sorts.
Yes. Week 13 power rankings, we get to number 11.
The Washington Commanders.
Back off the ledge, commie fans. It's going to be fine.
You do that just to piss me off. Like, there's no other reason you do that.
It's too many syllables.
They are the Commanders, not the communists. They are not the commies.
The Manders doesn't sound as good.
Commandos.
Yeah. Not a fan. I like commies. I like the commies the best.
I'm going to need somebody
Daniels.
to clip that. I promise you I won't use it for anything nefarious, but if he ever really gets under my skin, he will get a call from Homeland Security, and I'm here for it.
I like the commies the best. Anyhow, Washington, Okay, so you're on a 3-game skid.
2 of those games were against really good teams.
Yeah. One of them probably. I mean, the Steelers game was exciting.
Well, the Eagles game was good. You weren't blown out in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I get being upset after the Cowboy game. Now, if you lose to Will Levis this week, okay, now we can talk. Now I understand why you're. But it is possible that Jaden Daniels is hitting a bit of a rookie wall. This is about the time we start seeing it. It's week 13. These guys are not used to playing seasons this long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been in camp since July. It's the end of November.
Is there some physical attrition that's happening there with Jaden, or
and it could be. I think his ribs are still bothering. He got hit in that Cowboy game at one point, and I went, I know that look.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that look.
Mm-hmm. Not quite as bad as the Gardner Minshew look, but
no, the Gardner Minshew look that's not a noise your body's supposed to make.
Right.
That. I don't think my shoulder's supposed to be hitting me in the neck.
Oh, he went down, and I immediately looked at my wife. She went, "That looked like it hurt." I went, "That looked like a broken collarbone." He got up holding that shoulder up. I went, "Yep, that's exactly what that is." Not good news. Look, Jaden is phenomenal, and I understand the disappointment, right? The knee-jerk reaction, the overreaction Monday that we all have of, oh my God, we've lost 3 in a row. This is terrible. You're better than you were supposed to be. This has gone better than you ever could have hoped. And now, just keep playing, because you're going to beat the Titans, you're going to beat the Saints, you're going to beat the Falcons.
And the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys at the end.
4 or 5 games Jeff left.
Yeah.
You win the 4 we just said. You finish 11-6, and nobody has any qualms.
Mm-mm.
You'll go in as a wild card, and you'll have a shot, because you'll probably end up playing the Falcons or the Bucks or whoever wins the West, and you got a shot there.
You definitely got a shot. Number 10.
The Houston Texans. Man, I wanted to drop you further, but I can't.
Mm-mm.
This team is good, not great. They're not ready for prime time. It's super obvious. CJ Stroud is regressing. If you don't see it, I can't help you. You watch the film on him, and he does not look like the same guy. He looks like the kid that I saw at Ohio State that I was not real fond of.
Mm-hmm. Which begs the question of, is there something that has clicked in the brains of opposing teams?
Well, they have a lot of tape on him. That's not the question that I ask. My question is, can you move past that? I always laugh when people say sophomore slumps. It has nothing to do with the fact you're in your second year. It has to do with now we've got 20 to 25 games of tape on you. I figured out every little quirk you have. It's like playing cards with somebody. First time you play them, you don't pick up on everything they do.
Mm-hmm.
You sit at that table 10 or 15 times, they start scratching their nose, you go, I've seen that before. You got a good set, and I don't, and I'm out. And it gets harder to beat somebody the more you do that.
Right.
It's kind of the same premise in the NFL. Some of these teams in the division, this is the 4th time they've seen him. I got a pretty good idea what I'm dealing with here. I got tape from last year. I got tape of my guys against their guys. I know how he's going to respond to this. It doesn't seem that there's been an evolution. That's when you see guys hit a sophomore slump. The great quarterbacks, which is where we were putting him, they find a way to get past that and start using it against you.
Mm-hmm.
You think every time I run through a high 3 initial read, I'm going to do X. Well, I'm going to do Y. And when your safety jumps on it, touchdown. He has not gotten there yet. I'm not saying he won't get there. I'm saying he's not there right now.
Right.
And he's the limiting factor for the Texans because everything else is good.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Houston Texans at number 10. We'll break down the other 9 teams in the Week 13 power rankings when we return.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine, breezy to windy and cooler out here this afternoon. High temperatures only in the middle part of the 50s, all the way down to near freezing tonight. Clouds mix in with the sunshine tomorrow, still a bit breezy. Afternoon highs on Wednesday, upper part of the 50s. Cloudy with scattered showers Thursday for Thanksgiving Day. Afternoon highs, middle to upper 50s. Colder Friday, mix of clouds and sunshine. High temperatures, low to mid 40s. I'm Ken Boone with the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Ready Whip.
This is the sound of holiday happiness. Yeah, Ready Whip. Fun to use, fun to eat. You're not ready for the holidays? Without Ready Whip.
If you're a business owner, we know driving sales and growing your business is a top priority. But do you know the basic formula of marketing success? Reach multiplied by response rate equals results. And no platform reaches the customers your business needs like radio. With iHeartMedia, the #1 audio company in America, we provide unmatched reach, whether it's through our radio stations, podcasts, or digital streaming platforms. Here's the proof. iHeart reaches 3 times more people than the biggest TV networks, and 4 times more than any of the music streamers where you can advertise. And not only can we get you in front of your audience, we also have the data and measurement capabilities to show you how your messaging is working in real time. Maximize your results by leveraging our massive audience and driving response from consumers who are ready to engage with your brand. Call 844-844-iHeart. Don't wait. Holiday shopping has already started. That's 844-844-iHeart.
The PayPal app has amazingly low prices for holiday shopping. Get cashback offers in the app, and when you use the PayPal debit card, PayPal stacks 5% more in the monthly category of your choosing on up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay, PayPal.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
We treat star athletes better because they're better people.
That's not fair.
Life isn't fair, kiddo. Get used to it.
It is ESPN Asheville.
That's the best piece of advice I got as a child.
Uh-huh.
And it's who I got it from, too.
Mr. Garrison?
Mr. Garrison.
It is a holiday week here in the Sportsocracy. Just a programming note, we will not be with you on Thursday and Friday.
But we are committed to being here tomorrow, and we made that decision 7 minutes ago.
Yes, indeed.
Because that was in stranger danger.
We will be here tomorrow for you for a
Football Wednesday.
Yeah. You should have had more fire behind that. Come on.
Because it feels wrong.
It does. But tomorrow will be a Football Wednesday. We'll get you set for all of the action with the triple header on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, I don't like that. We need to come up with something Thanksgiving related. I was like watching a cousin breastfeed. It just didn't feel right.
Oh, God. You've been hanging on to that one for a while. I could tell. That was one of those. He was like, I got to store that away for one day. I'm just going to throw that out of nowhere, and it's just going to derail the whole program. Wow.
I do that a lot.
That's brutal.
My wife always knows.
Wow, that's an image that I had not. Ugh.
I test those out sometimes when I'm out in public, and when I get that response, I'm like, well, that's happening.
Yeah, that's one that we're using.
If you didn't want to hear me say that again, you should have just rolled right past it.
You should have ignored that puppy. Indeed, in that scenario, just ignore those puppies.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not something that you need rattling around in the old noodle.
We've all got one. It's fine. I admit it out loud. You don't. It's fine.
Oh, yes, on a football.
Take me home to the... Sorry.
It's the West
Say
Virginia.
number 9 and I'll stop
It's
saying
your old
crazy
West
things.
Virginia coming out in you. At number 9 on the Week 13 power rankings.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Steelers, well, I just keep on. Keep on keeping on. You lost one to the Cleveland Browns, which, I'll be frank with you, I didn't see that coming. I thought for sure that when I saw snow on that field, this was done. There's no Jameis Winston.
Snow always benefits the lesser team,
which is
because
weird.
it brings everything into a slog. Look, I do think you saw some of the problems with Pittsburgh. They can really beat you one way, and if you break out of that, and that pass rush isn't getting home, you're not harassing their quarterbacks, and you get back into that secondary. That secondary is not particularly good.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to talk about that because the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is really good. No, the front 7 is really good. The back half is pretty awful in certain places. The pass rush is so good that a lot of teams can't pick on that. For whatever reason, Browns could.
It's the grossest collection. I'm just looking over the schedule here, the results from so far this year. I mean, it is every bit of Pittsburgh Steeler football that you would expect. 20-10, 13-6, 18-10, 26-18, 18-16, 24-19. Ugh. It's terrible. And that's my biggest problem with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, I respect the winning. I respect the coaching. I do not respect the play. It is not fun. It's not appealing. I hate it so much, and I want you to go away. Either go away or be more interesting.
Well, they're not going to be more interesting.
I know. It's just a pain.
There's not a whole lot you can do there.
No, but you get a chance. You're sitting atop your division right now. You're a half a game ahead of the Baltimore Ravens.
Which is insane. I watch those two teams and go, how did one of you how did the purple team lose to the black and gold team? Because, I'm just trying to look at this from as rudimentary a perspective as humanly possible.
And how did they both lose to the Browns?
That's one of those things that
AFC
scientists will study that for years to come.
The AFC North is maddening because you always have things like this happen.
That is like the Pop-Tart of the NFL. Pop-Tarts always mystified me. How do they get the jelly in there? Like, you crimp it down, but you don't burn the jelly when you put it in
It's all the holes, right? The holes on the front of it, and how they get it in there. They inject the jelly into the pastry.
I'm not Mr. Pop-Tart.
I thought that's what the holes were all about.
I don't know. I don't know how they do it.
That's
Doesn't make any sense, but it's a delectable,
I figured that would have been
treat.
one of your documentaries that you've been watching.
Yeah, I go through bad sleeping times, and I've watched more How It's Made.
Right.
Ever watch them make a ping pong ball?
Watching Unwrapped with Mark Summers.
I met him once.
Did you really?
He's short. He's like real short.
Is he?
Yeah.
Did you see him? It was like, hey, the Double Dare guy.
No, I saw him and went, what's wrong with your hair?
Of course, that was your first thought.
Like, a guy with a mullet is looking at you going, you should do, like, it's way in places that it shouldn't be. And it looks like an unsettled sea.
Okay.
God,
all
we
right.
should be glad this is a holiday week because
it
I don't
is.
have 5 days of dumbassery in me. I'm trying to cram it into 3, and I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. Say number 8.
At number 8.
I don't remember now. The Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, this is we could be contenders in another world, but we're not contenders in this one. Because
this is a step in the right direction. You should look at every new coaching staff the same way we look at presidents. All right, so you tell me all these things you're going to do. You're not going to do them all day one because you can't do them all day one. Can you get them done over a 4-year period? And right now, Jim Harbaugh's in about the middle of year 2. The good thing is he's only 12 games into year 1. So if I was a Charger fan, I would be ecstatic where this team is.
You should be. We had some apprehension before the season started, how good was this going to be? The Brandon Staley years had been so bad. What difference is Jim Harbaugh going to make? And he was instant culture. You brought him into the building, and his infectious leadership took over. This is a team that plays with a whole different kind of attitude than they did when Brandon Staley was there. And now you go into every game thinking, okay, we may not be the better team here,
but we can still win.
But we can still win this thing. If we stay on schedule and we do the things that coach is telling us to do, we got a faith that we can win this game. Last night, you ran into a better team. Coming up, you get the Atlanta Falcons. And, you know, if you can avoid any kind of NFL West Coast, East Coast screwery, you should be able to walk out of Atlanta with a big win.
I want to be at this game so bad. I think this is such an interesting game of two teams that are in the same spot in their own conferences, but they're in such different spots as teams.
Right. One's way better than the other one, though.
Yeah. One of them's on the road, West Coast team coming east.
Precisely.
That's one of those, oh, boy, I don't see games like this very often, and this is close enough for me and that big old truck outside
to find a way to get down to it. Number 7.
The Green Bay Packers. Probably a good time to just go ahead and do number 6 as well.
Okay, number 6.
The Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, I would argue you're the same team. You're the same team. When you run it well, you're practically unbeatable because you have so many toys and weapons and dudes. But you don't run it as well as I want you to all the time. And sometimes when you put this all on your quarterback, you look very beatable. Mm-hmm. I don't think either one of their quarterbacks is elite. I'll put it this way. Right now, if you had to pick Jordan Love or Sam Darnold to win a game to save your life, who is it?
Sam Darnold.
I agree with you, but I'm also like the leader of his fan club. We do karate in the garage, so I'm not necessarily the most rational person when it comes to Sammy D MVP.
I mean, I got at some point you have to realize the mistake. Okay? The mistake was Sam Darnold is not terrible at football.
Nope.
He's actually pretty good at football.
Yep.
If he's got weapons and a line to keep him clean, then he can be really good. He is all the things that Jeremy tried to tell us that he was when he was floundering away with the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers.
Got to see those two real up close and personal, and it was pretty obvious.
It seems pretty obvious now. Right? I no longer look at Sam Darnold as that's the thing that's going to keep you from winning. Now it's what other part of this team is going to be the problem. Do we have a problem with Justin Jefferson getting in his head? Do we have a problem?
Certainly do right now.
Right? Do we have a problem with the defense? Do we have a problem in the back half not being able to keep other teams out of the end zone?
Their game 4 days after Christmas may be the most important game of the year. Let me tell you why. The team that finishes 5th, and right now those two teams are almost guaranteed to finish 5th and 6th in the playoff race just based off their remaining schedule, where things are, all of that good nonsense.
Yep.
The team that finishes 5th gets the Atlanta Falcons or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
The team that finishes 6th gets whoever wins the NFC West. Which one of those do you want to play?
Which would I rather play?
Oh, yeah.
I would rather play the Bucs or the Falcons.
Minnesota already has one win.
But I don't know that I'm all that worried about the West winner.
You should be.
Really?
The high side of those teams is so much higher than the Bucs or the Falcons. Now, they have the ability to come out and have a grumper. I'm not saying I'm scared to death of the other.
Okay.
I have no fear of going to Atlanta or going to Tampa Bay and beating one of those teams. I got to go to Seattle. I got to go to Arizona with a fan base that did not expect to be here, and they're loud as hell.
Mm-hmm. They have the corners.
Somehow it winds up being San Francisco. I got to go in there. No, I don't want to do any of that. Give me Atlanta. Give me Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to go to Seattle. And, like, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, they at least have somebody that can try to guard Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
Tampa Bay, not so much. Number 5.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Saquon Barkley can carry this team to a Super Bowl. I firmly believe that.
I struggle with that because I don't know how you're going to beat the Lions. But I think you're more competitive with them now than I did a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I now think there is at least a team that I can make it make sense in the NFC.
Still don't like your coach, but when your team is this talented and playing this well, and you have that running game to lean yourself on, and you're not exhausting your quarterback, maybe this is the path. Maybe Saquon was the missing piece that they needed to ensure that down the stretch they're going to have the best possible chance to win. And hats off to Howie Roseman for building it. Number 4.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
I now look at the Kansas City Chiefs as I feel like we do this every year. We get to this point of the season every year and we go, we're trying to find the hole. This year, you don't have to look too hard to find the hole with the Kansas City Chiefs. They play with other teams way too much. Now, it used to be you're playing down to your competition. Now it's, I don't know, maybe you just are in that. Maybe they are in your class now. You just know how to win better than they do.
They are the McDonald's of the NFL. They're always there.
Mm-hmm.
You can always count on McDonald's to have a nice hot burger that's going to hit the spot. You all like McDonald's. Shut up, all of you. McDonald's is awful. Yeah, you've eaten enough of them that you could defecate it for a month. Get away from me. We all know what it is. And guess what? It wins the what are we having for dinner battle from time to time.
Mm-hmm. More than it should. It wins more than it should, just like the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think Tank just made an analogy for me. I always love when that happens. Just John Stockton, that would let him dunk it to the house.
That's right.
Who shocked the first time he ever did that was with a fast food reference.
At number 3.
The Baltimore Ravens. I don't think anybody should be shocked that we're not getting a whole lot of change up in the top 3.
No.
Because then.
Number 2.
The Buffalo Bills.
And number 1.
The Detroit Lions. Yeah, the top 4 didn't change.
Yeah.
Top 4's probably not going to change. I don't really know what could happen that's going to make me go, I've got this so wrong. I mean, do you? I feel like that's how we're going into the playoffs. The Chiefs go on some hot run down the stretch. That's not going to surprise me. I still don't like your weapons against Buffalo. I still don't like your weapons against the Ravens. The Lions are the overwhelming favorite in the NFC. They're the best team in the league, and I don't even think it's debatable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how you would make an argument that they're not. They've lost one game all year. They outgained the team that they were playing by 240 yards. But they were 0 for 6 in the red zone. That's been the only team that beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was close.
Mm-hmm. It was. The Buffalo Bills, they seem to be more complete than they ever were, which is strange because I thought when Stephon Diggs got, jettisoned off, I thought that was going to be a major problem. Lo and behold, here they are looking like the second best team in the NFL. These top 4 teams, the Super Bowl winner will come from these 4 teams. The Detroit Lions, the Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. I got a strong feeling about that. And it's only because I just don't think Philadelphia can get over the hump in the NFC.
If they didn't have to beat Detroit, and I didn't believe so much in Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, and Ben Johnson, it would be a little different. But I'm with you. I've said this time and time again. You give me Baltimore, Kansas City, and Detroit, and I'll let you have the field.
Yep.
And that includes Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Buffalo? I've seen this before. And there's nothing really different with Buffalo that makes me think there's any reason it's going to be different now. Baltimore added Derrick Henry. That's an element to this that I have never seen before. That could be enough to get them over the hump. I don't see what's going to get you over the hump unless never turning the ball over Josh Allen, comes back to play.
Right.
The problem is he hasn't. You still deserve to be 2. But I have a weird feeling there's a loss coming for Buffalo in the next handful of weeks that's not going to make a lick of sense. And we're going to do the same thing with Buffalo that we did with the Chargers last night. You don't have the Jimmies and the Joes.
Mm-hmm.
I love James Cook. I like Amari Cooper. I love
Keon Coleman.
That was a given.
I thought that's where you were headed.
That was not where I was headed. I keep wanting to say Dalton Schultz. And
Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah.
Why do we have 3 tight ends that have Dalton as a first name? Anyway, I like those pieces. But then you get into the past Khalil Shakir, it gets into a lot of just dudes. And I think Shakir's just a dude, largely.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dude that really fits the role he plays. But I believe in Andy Reid, I believe in Dan Campbell, and I believe in John Harbaugh. I just believe in them more than I believe in Sean McDermott.
Yeah. It is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, out of time on a Power Rankings Tuesday. We'll be back with you tomorrow for
Football Wednesday. I still don't like that. Give me something with turkey.
On this,
I need a turkey.
this special short Thanksgiving week episode of the Sportsocracy. We'll be back with you here on ESPN Asheville tomorrow at noon.
Have you taken advantage of your dental benefits for 2023? Make your appointment now to get in before December 31st at Summit Dental. Most dental insurance covers 2 cleanings and exams a year. Contact Summit Dental now to take full advantage of your plan. Summit Dental also has a full range of professional services, from crowns and fillings, implants, teeth whitening, and more. Plus, they're accepting new patients. Visit AshevilleSummitDental.com and schedule your appointment now to get in before the end of the year.
Is your home ready for a refresh? Elevation Restoration and Floor Cleaning has you covered. From area rugs and carpets to hardwood floors, concrete, and furniture, they're your go-to team for all things clean and restored. Family owned and operated, they bring top quality service to every job. So why wait? Call Jacob today at 818-216-4605 or visit ElevationRestorationNC.com. Elevation Restoration and Floor Cleaning for floors that feel brand new.
After the devastation of Hurricane Helene, CareSource has been inspired by the strength and compassion of our North Carolina friends and neighbors. To support our recovery and replenish vital food banks, the CareSource Foundation has donated to Beloved Asheville and Manna Food Bank. We invite you to help too. To learn how, visit belovedasheville.com and mannafoodbank.org. We're all in this together, and together, we will rebuild. A public service message from CareSource.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine, breezy to windy and cooler out here this afternoon. High temperatures only in the middle part of the 50s, all the way down to near freezing tonight. Clouds mix in with the sunshine tomorrow, still a bit breezy. Afternoon highs on Wednesday, upper part of the 50s. Cloudy with scattered showers Thursday for Thanksgiving Day. Afternoon highs, middle to upper 50s. Colder Friday, mix of clouds and sunshine. High temperatures, low to mid 40s. I'm Ken Boone with the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. If you have a gun, you have a responsibility to lock it up, to keep it safe every single time. Visit ncsafe.org to learn more. That's ncsafe.org.
This holiday season, let's spread love that goes beyond Christmas. When you give to the Salvation Army of Asheville, you're not just helping provide food, shelter, and gifts during the holidays. You're giving hope that lasts all year. Your generosity supports families in need, offering them a brighter future. Donate to the Salvation Army of Asheville online today and be the reason that someone feels loved and supported. Not just this Christmas, but all year long.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Cold front number 1 pulling away from us tonight, and it is cooler tonight. Our temperatures dipping down close to freezing valley floor, below freezing in the higher elevations. Sunshine Wednesday, high 59. Second cold front comes in on Thanksgiving Day Thursday with showers and 55. And then turning much colder for Friday and the weekend. We're talking lows Friday night in the valley down into the low 20s and some teens for early December nighttime low temps. I'm meteorologist Scott Laurie, and more at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. If you have a gun, you have a responsibility to lock it up, to keep it safe every single time. Visit ncsafe.org to learn more. That's ncsafe.org.
FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. For more information or to schedule an inspection, call 1-800-621-FEMA. Again, call 1-800-621-3362.
iHeartRadio is your #1 app for the holidays. Just open the app and search Holiday and start listening now. You'll see your local holiday radio station, plus all kinds of other holiday stations, playlists, and podcasts. iHeartRadio, free, never sounded so good.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket.